Chapter 275. Wearing a purple battle armor. The complicated lines on it emitted a terrifying aura. It was obvious that this was a very powerful battle armor. That pair of bright tiger eyes, when closed, seemed to burst with lightning. That broad and firm chest gave people a feeling of sturdiness. That familiar aura, that familiar appearance, and that familiar smile. Man gone. It was the man gone that Qin Yu and his brothers had met in that restaurant. At that time I felt that this man gone was an expert, and thought that he was some super loose demon of the ancient demon race. Who would have thought that he was actually an emissary of the demon realm? Qin Yu secretly praised in his heart. The ancients said that people need clothes. This man gone wearing such a domineering battle armor. His aura is obviously different. Qin Yu stood behind Sword Immortal Lan Feng and Zhong Ju, looking at the distant man gone. Behind man gone was a lean male wearing black battle armor. It was the ruler of the ancient wilderness, Yu Liang. Beside Yu Liang were the three great demons of the ancient wilderness, Kong Chao, Xing Shou, and Wu Shan. Currently, these four great experts all had exceptional treasures from the demon realm. Hua Yan, the immortal realm's sovereign Yu actually sent you. Seems that you are highly valued by sovereign Yu. Man gone said with a slight smile. Sword Immortal Hua Yan smiled. Among the numerous level 1 golden immortals, Sovereign Yu sent me alone because he recognized my strength. Since Sovereign Yu sent me, I naturally will not weaken Sovereign Yu's prestige, and will also not disappoint Sovereign Yu. Hua Yan's aura did not yield in the slightest. However, I am very curious. I do not know what those demon emperors of the demon realm are thinking, to actually be willing to send you. I really do not know if you lose your little life in Ni Yang's realm. How big of a shock would the beast race of the demon realm experience? Hua Yan sighed. Man gone's mouth slightly curled. You do not need to worry about this matter. It is not me who is worried. Hua Yan continued. Presumably man gone, you also know that Ni Yang's realm is the lair of Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. Immortal Emperor Ni Yang ah. You should also know of the legend of Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. His lair, if one is not careful, even a mystic immortal will not survive after entering. Qin Yu's eyelids twitched behind him. A mystic immortal will not survive after entering. As expected, this Ni Yang's realm is full of dangers. Looks like my decision back then was still correct. Although Qin Yu had the map to Ni Yang's realm, he had never entered it. Because, once the three of them went alone, Qin Yu had no confidence that he would be able to pass through the numerous dangers in Ni Yang's realm. He might even implicate his own brothers. As for following the emissaries of the various realms, they must have prepared some secret treasures to deal with all kinds of situations. It would be much safer to follow these people in. Of course I know about the dangers of Ni Yang's realm. Hua Yan, don't tell me you don't know that danger and opportunity coexist. A glint of wisdom flashed across Man Gone's eyes. You should also know about the treasures within Ni Yang's realm. If it were not for that treasure-making emperor you go crazy, why would he spend so much effort to open up the passageway between the two realms? Hua Yan smiled faintly. Likewise. Hua Yan's meaning is clear. Aren't the demon emperors of your demon realm also coveting that treasure? Qin Yu carefully listened to every word that the two of them said. The legend of Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. The treasure that moved the hearts of Emperor Yu and other important people of the three realms. When Qin Yu heard that, he already had some conjectures in his heart. This Immortal Emperor Ni Yang must have had an incredible opportunity in the higher realms. He must also have an absolute treasure that would make all the super immortal emperors, demon emperors, and devil emperors go crazy. Even if Immortal Emperor Ni Yang had died, how could he let others obtain his treasure so easily? Even the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion had 3 pieces of Sundering the Heavens diagrams, and had so many dangerous restrictions. Then, what about Ni Yang's realm? This is... Man Gone suddenly looked towards Sword Immortal Lan Feng, with a puzzled look. Don't look at Man Gone's puzzled appearance at that moment. In reality, he was extremely shocked in his heart, because, He was actually unable to detect the strength of this mysterious sword immortal in front of him. One must know that Man Gone was a super divine beast. He also had some special methods to detect other people's strength. Sword Immortal Hua Yen introduced. Man Gone, this is the organizer of this auction. Sword Immortal Lan Feng. This Sundering the Heavens diagrams are also his. Brother Lan Feng's strength is extremely impressive. Even I do not have the slightest certainty of facing Brother Lan Feng. However, Brother Man Gone's strength is outstanding. Do you have the confidence to defeat Brother Lan Feng? Qin Yu, who was at the back, frowned. Wasn't this Hua Yen trying to sow discord between Lan Feng and Man Gone? Lan Feng glanced at Hua Yen and immediately smiled. Although I am interested in an Yang's realm, it is not too great. Otherwise, I would not have auctioned off the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Once we enter an Yang's realm, there will still be a few people competing for the treasures of an Yang's realm. As for Brother Man Gone's strength is outstanding. I also admit that I am inferior. Brother Lan Feng is too modest. Man Gone smiled slightly. Although Man Gone relied on his status as a super divine beast, and could even win against a level 2 golden immortal sword immortal, he did not have any confidence in Lan Feng, who he could not see through at all. Everyone, it is better to first enter the courtyard. It is not too late to chat after we have entered. Zhongju spoke out. Man Gone glanced at Zhongju, and his eyes could not help but brighten. Oh, you are Zhongju, right? As expected, your surname is Zhong. Brother Qin Yu. Man Gone suddenly saw Qin Yu and the other two behind Zhongju, and immediately laughed. Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuro, haha. I did not expect that after parting at that restaurant in the Hidden Dragon continent, I would be able to meet you here today. That day I felt that you all were not ordinary people. Who would have thought that we would meet here today? Qin Yu and the other two smiled and nodded in greeting. Brother Man Gone, you also know my martial nephew. Huh. Brother Man Gone, you must build a good relationship with my martial nephew. The upcoming auction of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams will be managed by my martial nephew. He can give the Sundering the Heavens diagrams to whoever he wants. I have completely given my martial nephew the authority. Sword Immortal Lan Feng laughed. Man Gone's eyes brightened. Oh, Brother Lan Feng's meaning is, if Qin Yu is willing, even if the highest grade elemental spirit stones are less, he can still give the Sundering the Heavens diagrams to that person. Man Gone asked in return. Lan Feng nodded. The faces of Hua Yen and the others changed. Qin Yu smiled and said, Young martial uncle, you have given the authority of the auction to me. How can I be so casual? Since it is an auction, I will naturally give it to whoever offers the most highest grade elemental spirit stones. No matter what, I cannot so casually abuse my authority. But Man Gone patted Qin Yu on the shoulder. Well said. When the time comes, whoever offers the most highest grade elemental spirit stones, this Sundering the Heavens diagrams will belong to that person. Hua Yen also secretly sighed in relief. Times in the next few days, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun also led his troops to Snowfish Island, while the Dragon Clan side was the last to arrive. In the southern manor. Get out, this is the place where we Dragon Clan live. You loose devils actually dare to occupy our place. You are courting death. An angry roar sounded, and several figures were thrown out like sandbags. One by one, strong and large men walked out, coldly looking at the loose devil side of several tens of troops. The southern manor was divided into 4 small areas, for the loose immortals, loose devils, ancient desolate demons, and Dragon Clan's troops to live in. Each area was enough for 50 to 60 people to live in, but each of the major powers brought at least a few hundred people. Such a large place, how could they live in it? The loose immortals' side still abided by the rules, only living in their own small area. The rest of the loose immortals who did not have a place to live could only build their own small courtyards outside. The ancient desolate demon side was very arrogant, directly occupying 2 of the 4 small areas. Moreover, this action was approved by Man Gone, the overbearing man gone. When Blood Devil arrived and saw this scene, he also felt a headache. He did not want to directly confront Man Gone, so he let some of his own experts live in the last area. The Southern Manor had a total of 4 areas, 1 for the loose immortals, 2 for the ancient desolate demons, and 1 for the Blood Devil. The Dragon Clan came, but there was no place to live. How could the Dragon Clan not be angry? The 10th Tribulation and 11th Tribulation Dragon Clan experts immediately joined forces, directly throwing out the Loose Devil experts. It should be known that the Loose Devil experts all lived in the Central Manor with Blood Devil, while the strongest in the Southern Manor was only the 10th Tribulation. The Loose Devil side was naturally trampled. Within the Central Manor, those who lived were all super experts, the leaders of each party. The Loose Devil side had Blood Devil and a few others, the Loose Immortal side had Hua Yen and a few others, the Ancient Desolate Demon side had Man Gone and a few others, the Dragon Clan's experts, as well as Master Zhongju, Lan Feng, Qin Yu and a few others. The Central Manor was the largest, but on the contrary, it had the least people. Within the courtyard where Lan Feng lived. Brother Lan Feng, there's a fight over there, a fight, haha. Zhongju walked in. Little brother Qin Yu is also here, haha, I must tell you this joke. Qin Yu and Lan Feng looked at each other, then Lan Feng spoke. Brother Zong, tell me, what kind of joke is it? Zhongju nodded and said, do you still remember? At that time, we only gave the Southern Manor to the subordinates of each party to live in. At the same time, we divided the Southern Manor into 4 areas. Now, the Loose Immortals occupy 1 area, the Ancient Desolate Demons occupy 2 areas, and the Loose Devils occupy 1 area. The Dragon Clan's people came and directly threw out the Loose Devils people. Throw it out. Qin Yu opened his eyes wide. Zhongju also laughed. Yes, now the Dragon Clan's emissary, as well as Blood Devil Du Zhongjun and others have all arrived at the Central Manor. It seems that they are all fighting for a place to live. No one is willing to give way. The auction hasn't started yet, but they are already fighting. Qin Yu smiled. Zhongju nodded and said, they actually don't care about a place to live only. They are now trying to suppress each other, otherwise Man Gone would not be so overbearing as to let the Ancient Desolate Demons occupy 2 areas. What they are fighting for is face. The emissaries all represent important people from different realms. If they are weak, wouldn't they be losing face for the people behind them? Man Gone is also overbearing. One person occupies 2 large areas, but he also has the strength to be overbearing. Lan Feng said with a faint smile, Brother Zong, as the host, we can't just watch them fight. If they really start fighting, that would be terrible. Boom! A monstrous aura suddenly exploded. Qin Yu, Lan Feng, and Zhongju were all startled. Haha, too late. They have already started. Zhongju laughed loudly. Qin Yu used his spiritual sense to sweep and laughed. Good fight. Now, the Southern Manor is almost half destroyed, and can no longer be lived in. That's also good. In the end, no one will have a place to live. Let them all go outside and build houses to live in. Haha, good. No one has a place to live. Wukong Shui. Arrange for people to build a manor in the Southern Manor. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun said with a big laugh. Currently, the Southern Manor was already 80 to 90% destroyed. That chaotic appearance was simply uninhabitable. Although it was said to be the result of a fight between the Dragon Clan emissaries and the Devil Realm emissaries, it could also be deliberately done by the 2 emissaries. After all, if they continued to fight, it would not end well for anyone. The Dragon Clan emissary Ao Feng and the Dragon Clan's patriarch Feng Tian looked at each other, then directly turned and left with a faint smile. The auction had not yet started, but the 4 great powers on Snowfish Island were already in constant friction. At the same time, the Immortal Realm emissaries, Devil Realm emissaries, Demon Realm emissaries, and Dragon Clan emissaries were also constantly in the dark. After all, the 4 of them had the most top-grade elemental holy ore. The Central Manor was the area where the Dragon Clan lived. Brother Ao Feng, could you please have a chat with me? Sword Immortal Hua Yen stood outside Aofeng's courtyard and said with a faint smile. This Aofeng was the dragon clan emissary. At this time, the door to Aofeng's courtyard opened. Golden Dragon Elder Ao Yen walked out and said with a smile, Senior Hua Yen, my lord has already said that he is not receiving guests. Hua Yen frowned. Brother Aofeng, your dragon clan already has a Sundering the Heavens diagram. You would not covet the one that is about to be auctioned, right? Hua Yen asked reproachfully. Aofeng still did not make a sound in the room. Golden Dragon Elder Ao Yen smiled and said, Senior Hua Yen, my lord had once said that the more the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, the better. If you have one more, then others will not be able to enter. If there are fewer people entering, there will be fewer people competing for treasures. Senior Hua Yen, please take care. This junior will not send you off. Ao Yen immediately put on a respectful appearance. As he said that, the Golden Dragon Elder directly closed the door. Looking at the closed door, Hua Yan's face was covered with a layer of cold air. Humph! With a cold snort, Hua Yen turned and left. At this moment, in the main hall of Aofeng's courtyard, Aofeng and Man Gon were sitting opposite each other. Brother Man Gon, come, cheers. Aofeng raised his cup. Man Gon also smiled and raised his cup. Brother Aofeng is really generous. Now that Hua Yen has left, Brother Aofeng should say, how many top-grade elemental holy ore can you lend me, or how many can I exchange for? Well said, let's drink first. Aofeng smiled. No matter what kind of secret agreement each party had before the auction, when it came to the day of flattery, it still needed the actual top-grade elemental holy ore from each party. After all, Qin Yu, who was in charge of this matter, had already said, no matter what, I will definitely be fair. Whoever offers the most top-grade elemental holy ore, this Sundering the Heavens diagram will belong to them. And the last day of the year, which was also the day of the Sundering the Heavens diagram auction, finally arrived under the expectations of each party. Chapter 276. The atmosphere of the entire Snowfish Island is clearly different today. The people of the various powers are obviously calm, and no one fights with each other. At the same time, the central manor of Snowfish Island is also decorated, and the loose practitioners of the chaotic astral ocean are all over the central manor. Let's go! Sword Immortal Hua Yen takes the lead, with Reverend Ming Liang, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing, Reverend Qi Yang, and Shui Yu Yang following behind. They directly walk towards the square courtyard where the auction will be held. At the same time, Dragon Clan emissary Aofeng and Feng Tian advance side by side. Behind them are the three elders Ao Yen, Ao Su, and Yen Shan. Demon Realm emissary, Purple-Eyed Bull Demon King Man Gon leads Yu Liang, Kong Chao, Xing Shou, and Wu Shan. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun leads Wu Kong Shui, Dame Lianyu, Fire Devil, and Wu Hei. From their respective residences, the four groups of people all walk towards the courtyard where the auction will be held. The square courtyard. No matter if the various powers secretly flirted with each other, or became angry out of humiliation, they all have smiles on their faces now. Within the square courtyard. The layout of the square courtyard is very simple. There are 4 round stone tables. These 4 round stone tables form a straight line, and are also on the same side. And on the opposite side is a rectangular stone table. Beside the rectangular stone table, there are 3 chairs. And around each of the 4 round tables, there are 8 chairs. And in the middle of the courtyard, there are 2 rows of people standing. All of them are members of the chaotic astral ocean. On the 3 chairs beside the rectangular stone table, there are currently 3 people sitting. Zhong Ju, Lan Feng, and Qin Yu. Qin Yu sits in the center, while Zhong Ju and Lan Feng sit on the left and right sides. The one hosting the auction of the Heaven Sundering diagram is Qin Yu, and Qin Yu naturally has to sit in the center. Brother Lan Feng, these few days, the various powers have been very chaotic, but now we have finally reached the final moment. I also don't know who will obtain this Heaven Sundering diagram. Zhong Ju's face has a trace of a smile. He has long since received Qin Yu's guarantee that he will be given a place to enter Ni Yang's realm from the chaotic astral ocean. Heaven's sundering diagram. Therefore this time Zhongju is only watching the show, while Qin Yu and Lan Feng are also watching the show. I just don't know how many top-grade elemental holy or the heaven sundering diagram will sell for in the end. Lan Feng smiled, then looked at Qin Yu. Qin Yu, take a guess. Who do you think will get the heaven sundering diagram this time? Mine. Sword Immortal Hua Yan leads his 5 experts and walks in from the west door. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's face is full of confidence. Brother Lan Feng, since you don't want this sundering the heavens diagram, of course I will take it. You are a sword immortal, and I am also a sword immortal. It is natural for me to take it. As he speaks, Sword Immortal Hua Yan leads his subordinates to their seats. Everyone can talk big, but the truth is often the opposite. An indifferent yet absolutely domineering voice resounded throughout the courtyard, as Man Gong and his party entered from the east gate. The cold light in Man Gong's purple eyes faintly swept a glance at Hua Yan, yet contained a trace of an arrogant aura. Hua Yan instead smiled and nodded towards Man Gong, without any anger. The reason why this square courtyard was called Square Courtyard was because this courtyard was originally built for this auction. That was why this courtyard had a total of 4 gates, namely the East Gate, West Gate, South Gate, and North Gate. Immediately, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's party and Dragon Clan Ao Feng's party entered from the South Gate and North Gate respectively, and each took a seat. 4 round tables. 4 groups of people sat around a round table. Naturally, each party's aura was emitted, and the 4 groups of people were not willing to be weaker than the others. Suddenly, everyone, today I want to auction this sundering the heavens diagram, and the one presiding over this auction is my martial nephew, Qin Yu. The auction process, auction requirements, and so on, everyone must listen to my martial nephew. If you are not willing to comply, you may leave. Sword Immortal Lan Feng's voice sounded, and at the same time, his gaze looked at everyone seated. Zhongju also smiled and looked at everyone. Looking at the 2 people sitting on either side of Qin Yu, it was very obvious that they were supporting Qin Yu. Yes, participating in this auction of the sundering the heavens diagram, naturally must comply with the rules. Whoever does not comply, the first will be making things difficult for me. Man Gong's pair of tiger-like eyes swept a glance at the other 3 people, and then slightly smiled at Qin Yu. Brother Qin Yu, do not hesitate to carry out the auction according to your thoughts. Sword Immortal Hua Yan, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, and even the Dragon Clans Ao Feng and Feng Tian all understood that Man Gong seemed to have some special relationship with Qin Yu. Qin Yu smiled and stood up. Everyone, this junior has received orders from my martial uncle to preside over this auction of the sundering the heavens diagram. Naturally, this auction will be carried out fairly and justly. I will now simply announce the rules. This auction will use top-grade elemental holy ores as the unit of measurement. We will not accept any other treasures. In other words, whoever offers the most top-grade elemental holy ores will belong to them. Also, after the auction is successful, the top-grade elemental holy ores and the sundering the heavens diagram will be exchanged on the spot. If someone does not have that many top-grade elemental holy ores, but falsely reports the number, then whoever falsely reports will be surrounded and killed by everyone. Man Gong coldly snorted and said, "That's right, whoever dares to falsely report will be surrounded and killed by everyone." Blood Devil Du Zhongjun also said with a face full of murderous intent. Sword Immortal Hua Yan lightly laughed. Words are not enough, it is better to swear. I will take the lead. If anyone falsely reports the number of top-grade elemental holy ores during the auction, they will be surrounded and killed by everyone. At the same time, their soul will scatter and never be reincarnated. Everyone, do you dare? After he finished speaking, Hua Yan's gaze swept across everyone. Who doesn't dare? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun also sneered, and at the same time also made an oath. Under the smiles of Qin Yu, Lan Feng, and Zhongju, the 4 powers all made an oath. Very good. Since all the seniors are so sincere, then I will also show my sincerity. Qin Yu waved his hand, and at the same time, a scroll appeared in front of everyone. Immediately, the eyes of the four powers lit up. Qin Yu slowly unfolded the scroll. Now that Senior Blood Devil, as well as Ao Feng and Feng Tian of the Dragon Clan have all seen the Sundering the Heavens diagram, you should also know the appearance and aura of the Sundering the Heavens diagram. Everyone can appraise it. Qin Yu smiled and said to everyone, "Sundering the Heavens diagram." Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's eyes brightened. The Dragon Clan emissary Ao Feng also said, "Yes, this is the Sundering the Heavens diagram. I definitely did not misjudge it." Hua Yan also looked at Reverend Ming Liang beside him. At that time, Reverend Ming Liang had once obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagram. Naturally, he knew the aura and appearance of the Sundering the Heavens diagram. After carefully examining it, Reverend Ming Liang also nodded to Hua Yan. Hua Yan's face suddenly had a trace of a relaxed smile. "But, does anyone have any doubts?" Qin Yu laughed and said. Everyone shook their heads, indicating that they did not have any doubts. "Let's start the auction. Don't waste time," Blood Devil Du Zhongjun said. "But, since everyone is impatient, then let's start the auction." Qin Yu's voice became louder. The Sundering the Heavens diagram is the key to entering Ni Yang's realm. It is incomparably precious. The Sundering the Heavens diagram's base price is 1 top-grade elemental holy ore. Whoever offers the most top-grade elemental holy ore will obtain the Sundering the Heavens diagram. Now everyone please make your bids. Qin Yu stood and said in a loud voice. While he spoke, Qin Yu's heart was actually carefully observing the four great emissaries. From the looks of it, the ones who are determined to obtain this Sundering the Heavens diagram are Man Gong and Hua Yan. Qin Yu could guess something by looking at the two people's gazes. However, that Dragon Clan emissary Ao Feng Zong has that smiling appearance. No one knows what he is thinking in his heart. This is a variable. Qin Yu made a judgment in his heart. Actually, currently, the Dragon Clan and the Blood Devils both had the Sundering the Heavens diagram. If they wanted to compete, it would be the other two sides. Of course. It was also possible that the Dragon Clan and the Blood Devils wanted to prevent others from interfering, and thus also participate in the auction to compete for the Sundering the Heavens diagram. I bid 2 top-grade elemental holy ore. The voice of the first bidder sounded. Qin Yu looked towards the source of the voice. It was precisely the Blood Devil, Du Zhongjun. Hearing the voice of Blood Devil, Du Zhongjun, Sword Immortal Hua Yan laughed. Du Zhongjun, you really dare to bid. You are not afraid of the oath just now. I bid 3 top-grade elemental holy ore. Hua Yan, I know that you are determined to obtain it, so I am just joining in the fun. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun said with a smile. Others did not know, but Sword Immortal Hua Yan was very clear. If one were to say who had the least top-grade elemental holy ore, it would most likely be Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. According to Sword Immortal Hua Yan's guess, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun most likely did not even have 2 top-grade elemental holy ore. That was because Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's top-grade elemental holy ore had almost all landed in Sword Immortal Hua Yan's hands. Of course, Sword Immortal Hua Yan also paid a huge price. I bid 4 top-grade elemental holy ore. Man Gong said with a smile. Alright Hua Yan, don't waste time. This auction is also a competition between you and me. How many top-grade elemental holy ore do you have? Just say it. On the stage, Qin Yu was actually secretly happy. Let's compete. Take out all the top-grade elemental holy ore you have, the more the better. In any case, I will not complain about having too many. Qin Yu looked at the competition below with a smile. The more top-grade elemental holy ore he had, the stronger his Sword Immortal puppet would be. How many top-grade elemental holy ore I have, why should I say it? Sword Immortal Hua Yan lightly smiled. Sword Immortal Hua Yan was very smart. If he had far more top-grade elemental holy ore than Man Gong, and bid too much at once, Man Gong would not be able to compete. Didn't he, Hua Yan, give more top-grade elemental holy ore to Qin Yu for nothing? Therefore, every time he bid, Sword Immortal Hua Yan would only increase it by 1 top-grade elemental holy ore. 5 top-grade elemental holy ore. Hua Yan bid again. Humph, I bid 7 top-grade elemental holy ore. Mangon once again increased the bid, and then smiled at Hua Yan. Hua Yan, I want to see how many top-grade elemental holy ore you actually have. Hua Yan suddenly smiled at the Dragon Clan emissary, O Feng, and said, I heard that the Dragon Clan is rich and overbearing. I presume that Brother Ao Feng also has a lot of top-grade elemental holy ore. Why? Brother Ao Feng suddenly did not bid. Are you waiting for a surprise attack at the end? Rich and overbearing. Huh. My top-grade elemental holy ore is not as many as yours, Hua Yan. Ao Feng always had a smiling face. Hua Yan, don't waste time. Ao Feng will not participate. Man Gon said indifferently. Oh. Looks like the Dragon Clan's top-grade elemental holy ore is in your hands. Hua Yan frowned. Mart. Say it, I just bid 7 top-grade elemental holy ore, do you have more? Man Gon's eyes were filled with a blazing light, and an oppressive feeling pressed towards Hua Yan. On the stage, Qin Yu had been listening to everyone's bids. 7. In addition to my original one, after the auction ends, my Sword Immortal puppet can at least display the power of a level 8 Golden Immortal. Level 8 Golden Immortal. Qin Yu felt excited just thinking about it. Only Qin Yu understood one thing. There was a limit to level 8 Golden Immortal. Once the energy of 8 top-grade elemental holy ore was used up, the Sword Immortal puppet would be a piece of scrap metal. Therefore, he needed more top-grade elemental holy ore. Top-grade elemental holy ore, even in the Immortal Realm and Devil Realm, it is very precious. The price to use the Sword Immortal puppet is really high. Qin Yu was very distressed. However, the Sword Immortal puppet was very powerful. No matter how much it was used up, Qin Yu still had to use it. At that moment, the competition between the primitive demon clan and the loose immortal side had already reached the final stage. 10 top-grade elemental holy ore. I don't believe you have that many left. Man Gon said coldly. The 4 great emissaries, none of them asked for top-grade elemental holy ore from their backers when they descended. That was because they did not think that the mortal realm would require top-grade elemental holy ore. Even if it was to replenish power, they had their own spirit pills. These top-grade elemental holy ore were their own. A normal level 1 Golden Immortal probably could not even take out a single top-grade elemental holy ore. It was only because these people were the elites of their respective powers that they had a few top-grade elemental holy ore. Sword Immortal Hua Yan was startled. Haha, no more. If not, then admit defeat. Man Gon laughed coldly. I bid 11 top-grade elemental holy ore. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's eyes were about to turn red. Man Gon's face changed. Good, I did not expect you to have so many top-grade elemental holy ore. Sword Immortal Hua Yan thought of the 11 top-grade elemental holy ore he had and felt distressed. In order to obtain top-grade elemental holy ore from Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, he had been ruthlessly slaughtered by Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. Only then did he barely manage to gather 11 top-grade elemental holy ore. He only had a total of 11 top-grade elemental holy ore. If Man Gon bid one more, he would have no hope. Good, I do not have many top-grade elemental holy ore on me. In total I only have 12 pieces. I bid 12 top-grade elemental holy ore. If you have the ability, then bid again. Man Gon's body also emitted a terrifying aura. In the end, they both felt that the other party had reached his limit. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's face could not help but turn pale. 12 pieces. Just one more than him. On the stage, ever since the bid exceeded 8 top-grade elemental holy ore, Qin Yu, who had been cheerful all along, finally spoke. Currently, the Demon Realm emissary Man Gon has bid 12 top-grade elemental holy ore. Is there anyone who wants to bid higher? Qin Yu looked around at the crowd. Qin Yu's attention was mostly on Sword Immortal Huayan's body. At the same time, he looked at Sword Immortal Huayan with an encouraging and expectant gaze. Sword Immortal Huayan's face was pale, and he did not speak at all. Qin Yu understood in his heart that Huayan indeed did not have any more top-grade elemental holy ore. If there is no higher bid, then this Sundering the Heavens diagrams will belong to Brother Man Gone. Qin Yu's voice began to rise. The Dragon Clan emissary Aofeng stood up and said with a smile, "Little brother Qin Yu, please do not be anxious. The matter is not over yet." Chapter 277. Aofeng. A swift and fierce aura directly shot towards Aofeng like a sharp sword. Even Aofeng's expression changed, and he immediately looked towards the source of that swift and fierce aura. Purple light lingered in his pupils, and his purple battle armor erupted with a tyrannical aura. The purple-eyed bull demon king Man Gone was like a ferocious beast that chose a person to devour. He fiercely glared at Aofeng. "Aofeng, you forgot the agreement between the two of us that day. As a person, do not go overboard." When Qin Yu saw that scene, he could not help but feel his heart tremble. When this Man Gone went crazy, it was really terrifying. "I naturally did not forget the agreement between the two of us," I said. "I will definitely not participate in the fight for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Since I have said it, then I will definitely do it." Aofeng said with a faint smile. "Moreover, even if I wanted to fight for it, I would also be powerless." Man Gone coldly snorted. "Then why did you shout slow?" Aofeng grinned. "Although I do not have many top-grade elemental holy ore, I still have 3 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore on me. I have decided to sell these 3 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore. This should not offend you, Man Gone. I will buy." Sword Immortal Huayan immediately said. Man Gone had 12 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore on him, while Huayan only had 11 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore. If he wanted to auction for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, Huayan must buy another 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore. Good Aofeng. You have taken advantage of me, and now you still want to take advantage of me. You are indeed sinister enough," Man Gone said with disdain in a cold voice. Aofeng still had a smile on his face. "Brother Man Gone's words are wrong. I only said to sell 3 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore, and did not say to whom. Since Huayan can buy it, you, Brother Man Gone, can naturally also buy it. I do not mind." Huayan's expression changed. Man Gone instead sneered. "Tell me, what price do I have to pay to buy these top-grade elemental holy ore?" Aofeng smiled and said, "My request is also not high. 1 piece of top-grade elemental holy ore requires a piece of top-grade demon equipment to be exchanged. Of course, it can also be exchanged with a piece of 100 Thunder Paralyzing Talisman." Huayan frowned. "Aofeng, your price is a bit too high. In the immortal realm, even the most ordinary top-grade immortal equipment would be worth at least 10 top-grade elemental holy ores. Moreover, a single 100 Thunder Annihilation Talisman is worth dozens of top-grade elemental holy ores. You've multiplied it by tens of times. If you want to change, then change. If you don't, I don't care." Aofeng smiled faintly. On the stage, Qin Yu, who was hosting the auction, smiled but didn't say anything. This Aofeng is truly treacherous. Qin Yu secretly laughed in his heart. Looking at Man Gone's appearance, most likely he had already paid a huge price to obtain some finest-grade elemental spirit stones from the Dragon Clan. Now that Aofeng was at a critical juncture, he wanted to earn another fortune. In any case, the higher the final auction price, the better. To Qin Yu, the 100 Thunder Annihilation Talisman was nothing to him. Although the power of the 100 Thunder Paralyzing Talisman was great, with Qin Yu's power, it was unlikely that he would be able to harm these envoys. Using the Sword Immortal Puppet was still the most powerful. "All right, I'll buy it. 2 finest-grade immortal equipment for 2 pieces of finest-grade elemental spirit stones." Hua Yan gritted his teeth and said. To Hua Yan. He only needed to buy 2 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. O Feng smiled faintly. Brother Hua Yan, it seems that you misheard something just now. I said that I want to sell 3 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. If you want to buy, then buy 3 pieces. Otherwise, I won't sell a single piece. Hua Yan was stunned. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun was slightly stunned, and then immediately laughed. Man Gong only sneered. Meanwhile, Qin Yu, Zhongju, Lan Feng and the others all smiled faintly. All right. Hua Yan gritted his teeth. Ao Feng, consider yourself formidable. I'll buy it. 2 finest grade immortal equipment in addition to 100 Thunder Annihilation Talisman for 3 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. As he spoke, 2 finest grade immortal equipment and 100 Thunder Annihilation Talisman appeared in Hua Yan's hands. All right, I've already taken them out. Quickly give me the 3 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. O Feng then looked at Man Gong. Brother Man Gong, now it's up to you. If your items can move me even more, I can also sell them to you. At this time, Ao Feng still wanted to earn even more. Ao Feng. Hua Yan was a little angry. Man Gong instead sneered. Humph, do you take me for an idiot? I also don't want this Sundering the Heavens diagrams. In any case, Brother Du had long promised to give me his 3 quotas for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Since I have to pay such a high price to obtain the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, it's not worth it. Hua Yan, I only have 12 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones, and will not offer any more. If you have the ability, then offer 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. You can take this Sundering the Heavens diagrams. I won't even frown. If you can't bear to part with it, then this Sundering the Heavens diagrams will belong to me. Man Gong sneered at Sword Immortal Hua Yan. Sword Immortal Hua Yan gave a cold snort, and gave 2 finest grade immortal equipment and 100 Thunder Annihilation Talisman to Ao Feng. He then received 3 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones from Ao Feng. I offer 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. Sword Immortal Hua Yan said angrily. This time, in order to gather enough finest grade elemental spirit stones, Sword Immortal Hua Yan had indeed lost a lot. Not only had he been slaughtered by Blood Devil Du Zhongjun at the beginning, but now he was once again slaughtered by this Ao Feng. Qin Yu still not speaking. Sword Immortal Hua Yan looked at Qin Yu. Qin Yu immediately smiled and said humbly, "This junior knows. Seniors, currently Senior Hua Yan has already offered 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. Are there any higher bids? If there are no higher bids, then this Sundering the Heavens diagrams will belong to Senior Hua Yan." Qin Yu's gaze swept across the crowd. Since seniors do not have any higher bids, then I will announce. Qin Yu spoke very slowly, as if he was waiting for some emissary to shout out a higher bid. Suddenly, Qin Yu's voice became loud. I announce that this Sundering the Heavens diagrams will be obtained by Senior Hua Yan for the high price of 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. And just at that moment, an indifferent voice rang out. Earlier, everyone had already made an oath. One hand for finest grade elemental spirit stones, the other hand for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Now that the Sundering the Heavens diagrams are already here, where is Brother Hua Yan's finest grade elemental spirit stones? Sword Immortal Lan Feng's gaze swept towards Sword Immortal Hua Yan. Man Gong, Du Zhongjun, and Ao Feng also all looked towards Hua Yan. Hua Yan laughed. Since I dared to bid this price, I naturally have it. A light flashed in Hua Yan's hand, and pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones appeared in the palm of Hua Yan's hand. A total of 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. Hua Yan directly placed 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones on Qin Yu's long table. Qin Yu smiled and received the 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones, while Hua Yan also received that Sundering the Heavens diagrams. When receiving the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, Hua Yan's first reaction was to immediately drip blood on it to claim ownership. After claiming ownership, Hua Yan very naturally knew some information about this Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Senior Hua Yan, is this Sundering the Heavens diagrams real? Qin Yu smiled and asked. Hua Yan's face revealed a satisfied smile. Since he had obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, those losses could be considered to be worth it. He was happy, but in reality, amongst the people present, Qin Yu was the happiest. 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones, in addition to the one that originally used up less than half of its energy, at least temporarily. The sword immortal puppet does not need to worry about too much energy consumption. Qin Yu's heart thumped loudly. 13 pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones. What did that mean? It meant that Qin Yu had at least a level 9 golden immortal sword immortal in his hands. A level 9 golden immortal sword immortal. What level was that? When he received those pieces of finest grade elemental spirit stones, Qin Yu's heart was constantly in a state of excitement. Meanwhile, at that moment, the side of the loose immortals, the side of the loose devils, the side of the ancient wasteland demon clan, and the side of the dragon clan also began to chat with each other. Additionally, each of the emissaries expressed their congratulations to Sword Immortal Hua Yan. Hua Yan's face was also full of smiles. Even when facing Man Gong and Ao Feng, Hua Yan was also smiling wholeheartedly. Hua Yan has obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Currently, the 3 Sundering the Heavens diagrams are more or less gathered here. From what I see, why don't we organize the maps now and directly head towards An'ai-Yang's realm? Man Gong suddenly suggested. Man Gong's voice had just left his mouth, and the previously bustling courtyard instantly quieted down. Quiet. So quiet that it was somewhat excessive. The expressions on Du Zhongjun, Hua Yan, and Ao Feng's faces were all somewhat fake. In reality, the 3 of them were secretly transmitting their voices. Brother Du, could it be that you are really willing to give those 3 quotas to this Man Gong? You should also know that with Man Gong's power and also his identity, I think. Once the few of us great emissaries enter An'ai-Yang's realm, the one with the greatest possibility of obtaining those treasures is Man Gong. O Feng transmitted his voice. At the same time, that transmission also rang out within Hua Yan's mind. At that moment, the ones who obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagrams were Ao Feng, Du Zhongjun, and Hua Yan. Very naturally, the 3 of them also did not want to allow others to enter An'ai-Yang's realm. Brother Du, what Brother Ao Feng said is correct. That Man Gong is a super divine beast. For him to be able to descend to the mortal realm, it shows that the demon realm has made a great determination this time. Perhaps this Man Gong still has a low-grade divine equipment on him. If he enters, our hopes of obtaining the treasures will be small. Hua Yan also advised. Low-grade divine equipment was different from finest-grade immortal equipment. For finest-grade immortal equipment, most powerful profound immortals would still be able to refine them with some materials. However, low-grade divine equipment, even if it was the worst amongst divine equipment, was still not something that the experts of the immortal realm, demon realm, or devil realm could refine. That was why low-grade divine equipment were passed down from the god realm, and their numbers were all limited. Moreover, the power of divine equipment was simply beyond imagination. Compared to finest-grade immortal equipment, the power of low-grade divine equipment was not just one level higher. Hua Yan Ao Feng, do you think I am willing? He is the one who forced me with force. Du Zhongjun was also very helpless. Oh, since that is the case, Brother Du, that Man Gong is really too overbearing. Right now, he is suggesting that we immediately head towards An'ai-Yang's realm, and wants to seize the opportunity to take half of your quota to enter together. Think. We should first postpone it. After we have separated, how about our 3 clans gather, and then head towards An'ai-Yang's realm? Ao Feng suggested. Good idea. Hua Yan agreed. Du Zhongjun thought for a moment and also said, in any case at that time I only agreed verbally and also did not swear. Alright, as the two of you have said, we will first postpone it. After a period of time, our 3 clans will secretly gather, and then head towards Anai Yang's realm. Let that mad bull Man Gon go crazy. Brother Du is wise. O Feng praised. Man Gon looked at the 3 people's expressions. What is the matter with the 3 of you? All of you are not speaking, are you secretly discussing? Man Gon said coldly. Brother Man Gon, you are saying that we should gather the map now, and head towards Anai Yang's realm. Isn't this a little too rushed? Ao Feng of the Dragon Clan said. We do not have the slightest bit of preparation for this. Why don't we first return to prepare for 1 or 2 months, and then gather together to prepare to head towards Anai Yang's realm? That's right, let's first prepare. Do not be too anxious. Hua Yan also agreed. Man Gon frowned and said, Prepare for what? What is there to prepare? Don't tell me you did not bring your treasures with you. Moreover, don't the experts under you all have them by your side? Since that is the case, what else is there to return and prepare? Du Zhongjun and Hua Yan were stunned. Who among them did not carry their treasures with them? O Feng smiled helplessly and said, Brother Man Gon, you do not know. When I descended to the lower realm this time, my clan's dragon emperor had once given me a treasure. This treasure is extremely beneficial to the growth and cultivation of my dragon clan. When I descended to the lower realm, I placed that treasure within the dragon clan, and let those children properly cultivate. It is currently still within the clan. The expression on Man Gon's face stiffened. Alright, I hope you all do not lie to me. Otherwise, do not blame me for being ruthless. Man Gon gave a cold snort, turned around and left. Ao Feng, Hua Yan, and Du Zhongjun only glanced at each other, and immediately bid farewell to Qin Yu, Lan Feng and Zhongju. One by one, they all left the 4-sided courtyard. Within the 4-sided courtyard, they have all left. This time's auction for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams can be considered to have concluded perfectly. Zhongju said with a smile. Qin Yu nodded and said, Senior Zhong, we have troubled you during this period of time. You should rest first. After a while, Senior Zhong can come here to find me. We will head towards Anai Yang's realm together. That is also good. Little brother Qin Yu, brother Lan Feng, farewell. Zhongju immediately left, and the servants in the 4-sided courtyard also left. Only Qin Yu and Lan Feng remained. Lan Feng stood perfectly straight, but Qin Yu's back was facing Lan Feng, and he was looking at the nearby Snowfish Mountain. Lan Feng, these 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ores, you can use them first. Qin Yu waved his hand, and the 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ores flew towards Lan Feng. Lan Feng received the top-grade elemental holy ores, and with a flash of light in his hands, the 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ores disappeared. Qin Yu clearly felt that the 9x9 origin spirit array within Lan Feng's body had 3 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ores. Although it was only an increase of 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ores, the current sword immortal Lan Feng's strength had increased by several times. He was already a level 3 golden immortal sword immortal. Lan Feng, when Reverend Ming Liang and Wukong Shui fought over the Heaven Sundering diagram on the Qianlong continent, the Qin dynasty lost more than 10 million people, and the Qin clan lost more than 95% of its members. Although the Qing Su Monastery and the Inue Palace were burned down, the 2 instigators were still living very comfortably. Now it is time for them to swallow the bitter fruit. Qin Yu slowly said with his back facing Lan Feng. Lan Feng's eyes flashed, and the sword energy on his body became even more fierce. Chapter 278. On Snowfish Island, large groups of people soared into the sky. They were mainly divided into 4 camps. Today was the day the 4 groups of people left Snowfish Island. Since the Sundering the Heavens diagrams had already been auctioned, the 4 groups naturally would not stay here. Brother Lan Feng, farewell. Sword Immortal Hua Yan said with a smile. Behind him was a large group of loose immortals. Farewell. Lan Feng nodded with a smile. Sword Immortal Hua Yan was slightly apprehensive. What is going on with this Lan Feng? He seems to give me an even more unfathomable feeling. If the Lan Feng of the past was about the same level as Hua Yan, then the current Lan Feng already had the strength of a level 3 golden immortal. This was also the reason why Qin Yu saved the use of top-grade elemental holy ores. After all, for these experts, a level 3 golden immortal sword immortal was already enough. Brother Lan Feng, Brother Zhong Ju, farewell. The Dragon Clan's Ao Feng, Feng Tian, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, and the Wilderness Demon clansman Gon all clasped their hands. In a mighty display, the 4 groups of people flew in 2 different directions. The Loose Devils, Loose Immortals, and the Dragon Clan all flew towards the south. The Wilderness Demon clan flew towards the direction of the ancient transfer array. Qin Yu, Kuro, Ho Fei, Lan Feng, Zhong Ju and the others stood in the sky, watching this group of people leave. A strong wind blew, causing Qin Yu's hair to flutter in the corner of his eyes. Qin Yu's gaze swept towards Wu Kong Shui and Reverend Ming Liang. At this moment, Wu Kong Shui and Reverend Ming Liang were separately talking to Blood Devil Du Zhongjun and Hua Yan. The smiles on their faces appeared very humble. Slowly talk, your days are not long. Qin Yu slowly said in his mind. Little brother Qin Yu. Qin Yu woke up from his thoughts and raised his head to look. Zhong Ju was smiling at Qin Yu. What matter does Senior Zhong have? Qin Yu gathered his thoughts. Zhong Ju nodded and smiled. I have also stayed here for quite a long time. Today, my people from the chaotic astral ocean are preparing to temporarily return. When are you going to head to Enai Yang's realm? Please inform me in advance. Don't worry, Senior Zhong. Before we head to Enai Yang's realm, I will definitely inform Senior in advance, Qin Yu said solemnly. Zhong Ju nodded his head, then turned to Sword Immortal Lan Feng and said with a smile, Brother Lan Feng, I can feel your aura. It seems that Brother Lan Feng has made a breakthrough in the past 2 days. As a super divine beast, Zhong Ju's sensing ability was very strong. Just a slight breakthrough. Lan Feng smiled. Lan Feng wishes Brother Zhong a safe journey. Thanks. Zhong Ju smiled and nodded. He then greeted Ho Fei, Kuro, and the others. Following Zhong Ju's order, a large group of people from the chaotic astral ocean also majestically flew towards the chaotic astral ocean. Qin Yu, Ho Fei, and Kuro stood side by side in the air. Behind them were Shi Exan, Shi Zhan, and Shi Bing. As for Sword Immortal Lan Feng, he had already been absorbed into Qin Yu's body. Finally, they all left. Ho Fei gives a grin and looks at Qin Yu. Big brother, you've gained a lot this time, haven't you? 13 pieces of top-grade elemental holy rock kaka. You can trample on those arrogant fellows. I think we should first go to the Tinglong continent and slaughter them. Kill all those who oppose us. Kill those who are not pleasing to the eye. Also, kill that blood devil Du Zhongjun. He must have a lot of treasures on him. We can also go and kill that immortal realm emissary Hua Yan. Monkey is dreaming, Kuro said softly. Ho Fei, who was still daydreaming, couldn't help but be stunned. He glared at Kuro and said, Mixed hair bird, why do you always oppose me? It was originally a dream. Behind the immortal realm emissary and the devil realm emissary are the immortal realm and the devil realm's top emperor level experts. How could they not give them some powerful life-saving treasures? Kuro finished speaking and arrogantly closed his eyes. You! Ho Fei glared at Kuro. Enough, Qin Yu said with a smile. Stop messing around. We have serious matters to attend to. What matters? Ho Fei and Kuro both looked at Qin Yu. Qin Yu's eyes emitted killing intent. Do you still remember how the Qin dynasty's capital was destroyed? More than 90% of my Qin clan's disciples, as well as my nephew Qin Guan, how did they die? Qin Yu still remembered the appearance of that nephew who often urged him to chase after Li Er. However, now they were already separated by life and death. It seems that Reverend Ming Liang and Wukong Shui, in order to fight for the heaven-sundering diagram, killed their way from the Qin dynasty's capital all the way to the southern seas. Tens of millions of people died. Hou Fei said. Yes, the main culprits were these two people. In the past, I only had one piece of top-grade elemental holy ore. The energy was too little, so I only burned Qing Su Mountain and Inue Mountain. Now it's time to settle the score with them. Qin Yu said coldly. Big brother, then why haven't we set off? Hou Fei hurriedly said. Qin Yu reached out his hand to stop him. Don't worry, they just set off. With so many people moving together, their speed is not very fast. I can control Lan Feng's flying speed by a lot. So, don't worry, we will set off in 3 days. Big brother, who is our first target? Kuro asked. Qin Yu pondered for a moment, then smiled. Xiao He, who do you think Sword Immortal Lan Feng's killing methods resemble the most? He is a Sword Immortal. His methods are naturally Sword Immortal methods. Most similar to. Kuro's eyes brightened, then he smiled. Big brother, your first target is actually Wukong Shui. But will that blood devil Du Zhongjun believe that it was Sword Immortal Huayan who did it? Qin Yu smiled indifferently. It doesn't matter if he believes or not. If he doesn't believe, then we have nothing to lose. If he believes, then we have profited. Big brother Monkey and I have something to discuss with you. Kuro's face became serious. Hou Fei looked at Kuro, then also looked at Qin Yu seriously. Qin Yu knew his two brothers. Qin Yu rarely had such an expression. Qin Yu immediately looked at his two brothers carefully. If you have something to say, say it. Don't hide it. Monkey and I have already reached the Deshang stage. Kuro said quietly. Deshang stage. Qin Yu was startled, then looked at Kuro and Hou Fei. You mean? Kuro and Hou Fei both nodded. After entering the Deshang stage, the energy in our bodies is rapidly changing. The speed at which the energy in Monkey and I are changing into demon elemental energy is extremely fast. Think. Monkey and I are not far from ascending. Kuro was somewhat helpless. Ascending. Qin Yu felt dizzy. What did you say? You said that your ascending is not far. Qin Yu was somewhat unable to accept this result. Yes. Hou Fei and Kuro both nodded. Their expressions were somewhat complicated. The thing that the three brothers wanted the most was for the three of them to ascend together. Hou Fei smiled bitterly. Big brother, even if we ascend together, we will not be together when we reach the upper realm. Mixed Hair Bird and I will automatically appear in the demon realm. As for the place where you will appear after ascending, I cannot guess. Qin Yu had once seen some books on the second floor of the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion's treasure pavilion. He still knew some of the most basic things. Those who ascend are Xiaxianists. They will ascend to the immortal realm. Those who ascend are Xiamoists. They will ascend to the demon realm. Those who ascend are Zuyoists. They will ascend to the demon realm. As for Qin Yu, who is not one of the three, it is really hard to say where he will ascend to. Fei Xiao He, is there a way to delay your ascension in your inherited memories? Qin Yu asked. There is. Kuro nodded. Tell me, what is it? Qin Yu was delighted and hurriedly asked. Become a holy beast. Once you become a holy beast, even if you reach the level of ascension, if your master's power is insufficient and you cannot ascend, the holy beast will not be able to ascend due to the restriction of the holy beast collars on the soul. This is also the reason why the three Sure brothers have not ascended yet. Kuro gave the answer. Qin Yu was immediately disappointed. Holy beasts will be restricted by their masters. If their masters do not ascend, the holy beast will also not be able to ascend. But their masters will not be restricted by the holy beast. For example, the black Qilin did not ascend, but it did not affect Qin Yu at all. This is the difference between a holy beast and its master. Haha. Qin Yu tried hard to squeeze out a smile. In any case, even if we ascend at the same time, we will not ascend to the same place. When your power is sufficient, you can ascend together. When I reach the immortal realm, I will definitely go to the demon realm to find you. Hou Fei and Kuro nodded. Big brother, your smile is uglier than your crying face. All right, mixed hairy bird, and I will not ascend right away. There is still some time before we ascend. Ho Fei giggled. Qin Yu could not help but smile. Ascension. This is the law of heaven and earth. Even Qin Yu could not force Ho Fei and the others to not ascend. Even if they entered the Qingyu immortal mansion, it would be useless. In the law of heaven and earth, some immortal mansion restrictions would not work at all. At the same time, this also made Qin Yu cherish the time he spent with the two brothers even more. As for Qin Yu's ascension, even if I reach the star stage, what is the next stage? Qin Yu sighed in his heart. The stellar transformations is an incomplete technique. There are only 6 stages in total. Nebula stage, Lu Xing stage, star core stage, Xingzhou stage, tribulation stage and star stage. Even if he reaches the star stage, he will be at the peak of the mortal realm. How to take the step of ascension? What comes after the star stage? All of this needs to be created by Qin Yu. If he is unable to create the next stage of the stellar transformations, Qin Yu will forever be trapped in this stage. If he fails to create it, Qin Yu will go crazy and his soul will scatter. Only by creating it successfully can Qin Yu ascend to the immortal realm. Times a strong wind blew. His long hair fluttered. Qin Yu stood on a simple and unadorned sword, flying at extreme speed. This simple and unadorned sword was dark black. Now Qin Yu's flying speed is 10 times faster than when he was riding a middle-grade immortal sword. Where did this simple and unadorned sword come from? It is the sword on sword immortal Lan Feng's back. This sword immortal puppet's flying sword can also be used by itself. It is indeed wonderful. Qin Yu had a smile on his face. After going through the last tribulation of the 9 to heaven tribulation, Qin Yu's body has improved. It is definitely comparable to a low-grade immortal equipment. Therefore, when Qin Yu stands on this simple and unadorned sword, there is almost no obstruction. This allows the speed of the simple and unadorned sword to be displayed to its fullest. In just a few days, the Tenglong continent is in front of his eyes. This is a sacrifice for my nephews and relatives. It is also a red gift for Fei and Xiao He. Qin Yu's speed reached the limit, directly flying towards the Inue mountain range. The side of loose devils and the side of loose immortals returned much earlier than Qin Yu expected because the loose practitioners of both sides used teleportation. Using the teleportation ability, both sides naturally rushed back to the Tenglong continent within a day. On the Inue mountain range, the Blood Devil Hall has the highest status. There are also some palaces around the Blood Devil Hall, among which is Wu Kong Shue's residence. Wu Kong Shue is sitting cross-legged in a secret room. The true flame in his body is continuously refining that top-grade devil weapon, Blood Moon. Even in the devil world, the top-grade devil weapon, Blood Moon, is a very extraordinary devil weapon. Generally, Devil Emperor level experts all use top-grade devil weapons. Therefore, Wu Kong Shue abandoned all other weapons and focused all of his efforts on refining Blood Moon. This is also a kind of special refining method belonging to the Blood Devil path. The smell of blood surged. The connection between Wu Kong Shue and Blood Moon became even closer. Suddenly, what happened? Why is Blood Moon trembling? Wu Kong Shue's heart trembled. Blood Moon is a very famous weapon of the Blood Devil path in the devil world. The number of people it has killed has already reached a shocking level. It even has some spirituality. Poof! An extremely strong and firm strand of sword energy easily slashes down from the sky. Like cutting tofu, it cuts the entire palace in half. Several loud shouts are heard at the same time. Even Wu Kong Shue holds Blood Moon and soars into the sky. Wu Kong Shue, do you still remember that time on the Qianlong continent when you fought with Reverend Ming Liang? That time quite a few people died. That indifferent voice resounds in Wu Kong Shue's mind. Wu Kong Shue is startled. That astonishing sword energy makes Wu Kong Shue's heart tremble. Wu Kong Shue's first reaction is, "You are Hua Yan. Did you come to take revenge for Reverend Ming Liang? Wu Kongshui never thought that someone would come to take revenge for mortals. He even thought that Hua Yan came to take revenge for Reverend Ming Liang. However, he simply cannot understand. That time, Reverend Ming Liang did not seem to have suffered any losses. Who dares to be impudent? A furious voice rises. A blood cloud soars into the sky. Poof! An extremely sharp strand of sword energy that has been condensed to the extreme passes through Wu Kongshui's abdomen in a flash. Wu Kongshui's eyes become lifeless. Then he explodes into minced meat and white bones. That top-grade devil weapon Blood Moon also naturally falls down. However, before it reaches the ground, an afterimage flashes by and grabs Blood Moon. Then, that afterimage disappears with a flash. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun appears in the area where Wu Kongshui was killed. He uses his devil sense to search but does not find any aura. Sword energy, such a strong sword energy. It's a sword immortal. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun looks at that pile of minced meat and white bones. His chest is filled with anger that cannot be vented. Chapter 279. He had killed the #1 general under his command right in front of his own home. Not even his corpse was left behind. Moreover, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun thinks very highly of Wu Kongshui. He even plans to treat Wu Kongshui as his trusted aide after returning to the Devil Realm. Therefore, he gave Wu Kongshui the Blood Moon, which is extremely famous even among top-grade devil weapons. But now Wu Kongshui is dead and even the Blood Moon has been snatched away. How could Blood Demon Du Zhongjun remain calm? Lord Blood Devil, the one who killed Wu Kongshui, is definitely a sword immortal. Moreover, looking at his cultivation level, there are only two possibilities. One is sword immortal Lan Feng, the other is sword immortal Hua Yan. Apart from these two, there are no other sword immortals with such strength. Wu Hei's voice was tinged with anger. Fire Demon roared. It is definitely sword immortal Hua Yan. If it is not Hua Yan, then could it be sword immortal Lan Feng? That sword immortal Lan Feng does not have any grievances with us. In other words, they were on the side of the loose immortals. They've always been at odds with us. Last time, when the loose immortals and loose devils fought, the number of casualties exceeded 10,000. That Hua Yan might be here for revenge. Dame Lian Yu shakes her head and says, "Fire Demon, don't be agitated. This matter is still very hard to say. Logically speaking, that Hua Yan is not that reckless. It is also possible that sword immortal Lan Feng is deliberately fanning the flames behind his back. I reckon that Hua Yan knew that we would think the same way as you, so he deliberately did the opposite." Fire Demon retorted. Dame Lian Yu was startled. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun listened to his three generals and pondered for a moment before saying, "Let's discuss this in the Blood Devil Palace." Times the moment they stepped into the Blood Demon Great Hall, they could not help but feel a sense of oppression. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. At this moment, there were 4 people in the Blood Demon Hall. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun sat high up in the main hall. The 3 generals under his command, Dame Lian Yu, Wu Hei, and Fire Devil, sat on either side of him. Originally the first person on the left was Wu Kongshui, but today that seat is empty. Seeing that empty seat, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun cannot help becoming even more furious. Hua Yan Lan Feng. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun quietly pondered in his heart. Is it Hua Yan? If Hua Yan did that, what good would it do him? Could it be that he wants to get rid of the #1 general under my command, so that I can only fight alone in Yang's realm? Could it be Lan Feng? That Lan Feng doesn't seem to have any enmity with me. He is extremely mysterious and rarely appears. He also does not seem to have any enmity with Wu Kongshui and the others. This time, he had even auctioned off the heaven-sundering diagram. Presumably, he did not have much ambition for Yang's realm. He seems, to have no motive for killing Wu Kongxue. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun kept thinking. Who killed Wu Kongxue? Although he had used his devil sense to search earlier, he had not found the other party at all. The Blood Devil Palace was completely silent. Since Blood Devil Du Zhongjun did not say anything, Dame Lian Yu and the other two naturally did not dare to say anything and disturb Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's thoughts. Suddenly, a low and furious voice resounded throughout the Blood Demon Hall. Today Wu Kongxue was killed. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's eyes are bloodshot. You openly killed Wu Kongxue in our headquarters beside my Blood Devil Hall. It's obvious that the other party doesn't care about us at all. We have to avenge this humiliation no matter what. In front of his subordinates, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun could only say this. Even if he didn't do anything in the future, he had to say this to reassure his subordinates. After all, if a subordinate died, the leader would not take revenge. This would be too chilling to his subordinates' hearts. Yes, this hatred must be avenged. I think the murderer is that sword immortal Hua Yan. My lord, we also know that my lord is about to enter Anyang's realm. Moreover, that Hua Yan's strength is very strong. Wanting to kill him would be very difficult. I think. First go kill that Reverend Ming Liang. They killed the strongest subordinate of my lord. My lord, you should also kill the strongest subordinate of Hua Yan as revenge. Wu Hei is the first to speak with a sonorous voice. Kill Ming Liang. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's heart is moved. Dame Lian Yu hurriedly says, My lord Blood Devil, although revenge must be avenged, we still cannot completely confirm that the murderer is sword immortal Hua Yan. We cannot go kill Reverend Ming Liang. If this matter is really Lan Feng deliberately fanning the flames, my lord, once you take action, you will really fall into Lan Feng's trap. Enough. Blood Devil waves his hand. All of you leave first. I know what to do about this matter. Yes, my lord Blood Devil. Dame Lian Yu, Wu Hei, and Blood Devil all stand up and bow. Immediately after, they leave one by one. Kill Ming Liang. Blood Devil mutters in a low voice. Soon after, he chuckles and disappears from the Blood Devil Hall. On this day the sun shines brightly. Even the blood-red roof of the Blood Devil Hall emits an eye-catching light. At this moment, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun is standing at the entrance of the Blood Devil Hall with his hands behind his back. For the entire day, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun has been thinking about the matter of Wu Kongxue. With his temperament, he wants revenge, but Anyang's realm is more important than anything else. Therefore, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun can only forcefully suppress the anger in his heart. Moreover, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun is not certain that the murderer is sword immortal Hua Yan. Hua Yan, consider yourself lucky this time. If it wasn't for Lord Blood Devil Emperor's important matter, I would definitely kill you. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun secretly says in his heart, practicing the Blood Devil Modeo. His murderous nature is still very strong. Suddenly, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's heart is moved. With a flip of his hand, a transmission talisman appears. Sweeping it with his devil awareness, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun says to himself, Oh, it's actually Ao Feng. Looks like this Ao Feng is also impatient. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun looks at the message in the transmission talisman and immediately sends a message. Brother Ao Feng, I wonder what you have come to find me for. Brother Du, last time when we were at Snowfish Island, we already agreed that my dragon clan, your devil path side, and Hua Yan's immortal path side will gather. At the same time, we will gather the heaven-sundering diagram and obtain the map to Anyang's realm. Ao Feng sends a message. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun gives a cold humph and says in a low voice, Join forces? If that Hua Yan really did it, then that is too insincere. At the same time, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun also sends a message. Brother Ao Feng, this matter should not be too rushed. Have you told this matter to Hua Yan? If it wasn't for Wu Kongxue's death, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun might have been very willing to start heading to Anyang's realm earlier. Only now, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's heart has a grudge. I will first talk with you, then talk with Hua Yan. You see, when will the matter of our three sides gathering to obtain the map to Ni Yang's realm be carried out? Ao Feng inquires. Blood Devil thinks for a moment. Within 1 or 2 months. 1 or 2 months. Brother Du, could it be that you have something to do recently? Ao Feng is puzzled as to why this Blood Devil is so unhurried. What do you think I have to do? The mission of the Ascendant Realm Emissary is to enter Ni Yang's realm and seize that treasure. How could there be anything else? Then why are you so unhurried? I see that after 3 days our three sides will gather together, then head to Ni Yang's realm. Ao Feng suggests. Since we are also wasting time here, it is better to enter Ni Yang's realm earlier. Moreover, I feel that the longer we delay, the more that Man Gone makes me feel even more uneasy. Man Gone. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's heart cannot help but tremble. That Man Gone is the super divine beast Purple-Eyed Bull Demon King. His strength is simply needless to say. Moreover, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun still remembers the agreement between the two of them. He had once promised to give 3 of his quotas to Man Gone. However, now he wants to secretly leave first with Ao Feng and Hua Yan, without caring about Man Gone. Once Man Gone finds out, then the consequences will be extremely terrifying. Ao Feng, that Man Gone is the super divine beast Purple-Eyed Bull Demon King. The madness of the Purple-Eyed Bull Demon King is their characteristic. Once Man Gone becomes mad, then Blood Devil Du Zhongjun transmitted to Ao Feng. O Feng, I think we should still bring Man Gone along. A mad Man Gone is extremely terrifying. No matter how arrogant Blood Devil Du Zhongjun is, he does not think that he can compare to Man Gone. However, Ao Feng does not mind. What are you afraid of? Once we come out from Ni Yang's realm, we will immediately return to the Ascendant Realm. At that time, when we return to the Ascendant Realm, we will have our own elders and experts to take care of us. He is only a level 1 golden immortal super divine beast. What can he do to us? Ao Feng is not worried in the slightest. Super divine beasts are powerful, but a level 1 golden immortal super divine beast does not pose much of a threat. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun ponders for a moment and also thinks that it is reasonable. After returning to the Devil Realm, would they still be afraid of a level 1 golden immortal super divine beast? Alright, since you said 3 days later, then 3 days later. However, you should at least first agree with Hua Yan. Brother Du, then we have agreed. I will discuss with Hua Yan again. Keeping the transmission talisman into his body, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun raises his head to look at the sun in the sky, which is emitting endless heat. This planet and this great sun are really big. However, when the great sun is destroyed, how many people will be left on this planet? At the very least, the mortals will all die. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's mind is unconstrained, and instead thinks of many other things. Wandering outside the Blood Devil Hall, not long after, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun sensed that someone is transmitting a message to him. With a flip of his hand, he takes out the transmission talisman. Sweeping it with his devilish awareness, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun could not help but sneer. It is actually Hua Yan, and he still dares to transmit a message to me? Does he have a clear conscience, or is he a hypocrite? Brother Hua Yan, why did you transmit a message to me again? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun still has a trace of enmity towards this Hua Yan. However, in front of Ni Yang's realm, any enmity must be put down. No matter how great the enmity is, it cannot compare to the importance of Ni Yang's realm. All of a sudden, Hua Yan transmits a string of messages. Brother Du, just now Ao Feng also talked to you about the gathering of our 3 parties and the matter of going to Ni Yang's realm together. You and Brother Ao Feng said that we will depart after 3 days. I also agree. However, Brother Du, there is one matter that I have just received news of. Hua Yan transmits again. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's face shows a trace of a sneer. What news? I heard that a day ago, a sword immortal suddenly appeared and killed Wukong Shui. That sword immortal's power is very strong, and even you were unable to capture him. I know that you may suspect me, but I, Hua Yan, can clearly tell you. That matter was definitely not done by me. This Hua Yan is also very clear that if Blood Devil Du Zhongjun continues to be hostile towards him when the three parties are cooperating, then maybe he will frame him in An Yang's realm. Therefore, no matter what, he must give an explanation. Wu Kong Shui was killed by a sword immortal. I also suspected you, and also suspected sword immortal Lan Feng. However, until now, I do not have any evidence to confirm which one it was. Therefore, I also did not take any action. Hua Yan, for now, please be at ease. No matter whether you killed Wu Kong Shui or not, I will definitely not find trouble with you. After all, Wu Kong Shui's death is insignificant in the face of such a major matter as An Yang's realm. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun also wants to reassure the other party. Hua Yan is satisfied in his heart. He also expected that the other party would definitely not be so reckless. Otherwise, the Devil Realm's Blood Devil Emperor would not have sent Du Zhongjun. Since that is the case, then 3 days later, we will meet at the Dragon Clan's Eager Dragon Island. This location was determined by Ao Feng. Presumably, Ao Feng will also tell you in a while. Eager Dragon Island. Good, I understand. One Wu Kong Shui's death, although it is painful. However, the matter of meeting 3 days later and going to An Yang's realm together is extremely important. After all, that is a major matter that the Blood Devil Emperor has solemnly entrusted to him. Eager Dragon Island. 3 days later, the three parties will meet. Times the wind blows and the willow twigs bend. The clear lake water ripples under the gentle breeze. Qin Yu is currently at the lakeside, leaning against a willow tree and resting with his eyes closed. Qin Yu did not immediately go and kill Reverend Ming Liang after killing Wu Kong Shui. That is because he wanted to give Blood Devil Du Zhongjun time for revenge. However, within a day, Qin Yu did not receive any news of Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's revenge. He is slightly disappointed. It should be about time. I also don't know what Blood Devil Du Zhongjun is currently thinking. I estimate that he will most likely endure because of the matter of An Yang's realm. However, when Hua Yan discovers that Reverend Ming Liang was killed by the Blood Devil's unique energy, what will the result be? Qin Yu stands up. At that time, seizing this finest grade devil artifact was indeed a wise decision. Qin Yu flips his hand and the finest grade devil artifact appears. Blood Moon. Blood Moon is a devil artifact specially refined by the Blood Devil Modeo. After passing through the hands of who knows how many generations of Blood Devil Modeo experts, it naturally contains the unique aura and energy of the Blood Devil Modeo. A level 3 golden immortal sword immortal, even if using Blood Moon, should be able to easily kill a loose immortal who is not even a level 1 golden immortal. After a day of rest, Qin Yu finally decided to make a move on his second target, Reverend Ming Liang. Qin Yu's figure moves. Stepping on the simple and unadorned long sword, he flies towards Mount Qing Su. At that moment, Qin Yu, even Zhongju, Mangon and the others do not know that the Immortal Realm Emissary, Devil Realm Emissary and Dragon Clan Emissary already have an agreement. In merely 3 days, the three parties will gather at Eager Dragon Island and head towards An Yang's realm. Of course, the premise is that Sword Immortal Hua Yan can tolerate Reverend Ming Liang being killed by the Blood Devil Modeo's unique energy. Chapter 280. Clouds and mist are drifting around the lofty Mount Qingshu. At the highest point of the mountain, the most mysterious main hall of Heavenly Palace, there is a sound of cheerful laughter at the moment. Reverend Ming Liang, Reverend Qi Shui, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing, and Shui Yu Yang are seated below. Meanwhile, Sword Immortal Hua Yan sits high up in the main hall of Heavenly Palace. The outside of the hall was isolated by a restriction, so no one in the outside world could know what was going on inside. Senior apprentice brother, look at Senior Hua Yan's face filled with joy. His mood must be very good. He must have summoned us for something good. Reverend Ming Shan secretly transmitted his voice to Reverend Ming Liang, who was beside him. Reverend Ming Liang looks at Sword Immortal Hua Yan above and nods his head in agreement. Everyone, today I have gathered everyone here to tell everyone a joyous occasion. This joyous occasion is no ordinary joyous occasion. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's face is full of smiles, his voice echoing throughout the main hall. Senior Hua Yan, please dispel our doubts, Reverend Ming Liang says with a smile. At the same time, the other 4 loose immortal experts all look at Sword Immortal Hua Yan with shining eyes. To be able to be described by Sword Immortal Hua Yan as an extraordinary happy occasion, it seems that this matter is indeed an extremely exciting matter. Hua Yan coughed, then slowly said, "Before that, let me tell you some information about the immortal realm. Otherwise, even if I tell you this joyous news, you won't be able to fully understand what the joy is. Do you know that the immortal realm, devil realm, and demon realm are actually in the same vast universe?" Hua Yan asks with a smile. People below were startled. Only Reverend Ming Liang spoke up. Senior Hua Yan, when Junior was practicing this stellar art, there was a jade slip that recorded some information about the immortal realm, the devil realm, and the demon realm being one entity. Hua Yan nodded. The immortal realm is located in a vast and boundless universe. The immortal realm occupies 20% of the space, the devil realm occupies nearly 20% of the space, and the demon realm occupies nearly 50% of the space. This demon realm is so huge. Reverend Ming Liang couldn't help but sigh. Hua Yan nodded and said, "Indeed, the demon realm occupies a very large area. However, the demon realm is also very chaotic. Therefore, the demon realm is not much of a threat to the immortal realm and the devil realm." What Hua Yan said was true, but in reality, it wasn't just the demon realm that had serious internal strife. The immortal realm and the devil realm were also fighting each other. Therefore, whether it was the demon realm, the immortal realm, or the devil realm, they were all very unstable internally. Therefore, the 3 realms were relatively stable. In the cosmic space, the immortals and devils each take 20% of the area. The demon realm takes 50%. Then what about the remaining 10%? Shui Yuyang inquires. The other loose immortals also look at Hua Yan. Clearly, they were also wondering where the remaining 10% of space had gone. "This is a secret. I cannot tell you all for the time being," Hua Yan said with a faint smile. Since Hua Yan had said so, everyone present was very tactful and did not continue to ask. The 3 realms are in the same space, so naturally they interact more frequently. Among them, there were a few supreme experts who were respected by everyone in the 3 realms, and one of them was Immortal Emperor Ni Yang, a level 8 mystic immortal sword immortal. Hua Yan finally got to the point. Reverend Ming Liang and the others immediately focused their attention and listened carefully. Immortal Emperor Ni Yang was a genius, but at the same time he also had good luck. Be it his weapon or his powerful sword immortal Dharma formula, the heaven-sundering sword art, they were all extremely impressive. This was also what he relied on to move unhindered in the immortal, devil and demon realms. Hua Yan's face had a trace of reverence. Every sword immortal worshipped the strongest sword immortal, Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. Immortal Emperor Ni Yang was not the kind of person who acted alone. He had his own enormous power, and similarly, he had astonishing treasures of heaven and earth. Countless top-notch treasures are hidden in his lair, Ni Yang's realm. Speaking up to hear, Hua Yan smiled and looked at everyone present. How many treasures of heaven and earth are there? Reverend Qi Yang's eyes had a blazing light. Hua Yan said with a faint smile, "How many? How would I know the actual number? At least top-grade immortal swords, top-grade battle armors, some top-grade immortal pills. The number is definitely more than 100. Moreover, there are also some unique treasures that contain some special energy. If converted to top-grade elemental holy ore, this Ni Yang's realm's value is at least 1,000,000 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore." Hua Yan's voice was incomparably firm. Those 5 loose immortals were stunned. 1,000,000 pieces of top-grade elemental holy ore. One piece was already so precious. 1,000,000 pieces. How great of a fortune would that be? Hua Yen looked at the 5 loose immortals whose eyes involuntarily emitted a blazing light, and secretly laughed in his heart. If you knew that what I said was only the most superficial part of Anyang's realm's outermost periphery, I reckon you would be even more crazy. Unfortunately, the true treasures inside, you do not have the qualifications to obtain them. Once the leader of an enormous power, Hua Yen could not imagine how many treasures Immortal Emperor Anyang actually had. Hua Yen only knew that Immortal Emperor Anyang's original position was comparable to Emperor Yu's, and even slightly stronger than Emperor Yu's. Moreover, Immortal Emperor Anyang's most precious treasures were not those so-called genius treasures. Those things would not cause the big shots of the immortal devil and demon realms to be so crazy. Crazy to the point that they did not hesitate to use large amounts of power to break through the barrier between the two realms, and let their own people descend. That was the true treasure. It was also the goal of every emissary. This plaything is the most precious. Just this one, its value exceeds all the other treasures of Anyang's realm added together. Hua Yen still remembered Emperor Yu's promise. If he, Hua Yen, obtained that treasure and gave it to Emperor Yu, then he would definitely become one of the upper echelons of Emperor Yu's power. All right, everyone, don't be silly. Hua Yen lightly laughed. Reverend Ming Liang, Reverend Qi Yang and the other 4 tried their best to control their excited emotions. When had these loose immortals of the mortal realm ever seen a top-grade elemental holy or, normally, being able to use a low-grade elemental holy or a middle-grade elemental holy or was already extremely incredible. The countless treasures of Anyang's realm had already caused these loose immortals' hearts to tremble. Mental state. Calm. In front of Anyang's realm, who could still calm down? Sword Immortal Hua Yen continued. Do you still remember the Sundering the Heavens diagrams? At that time, I spent countless treasures to obtain 1 Sundering the Heavens diagrams. There are a total of 3 Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Once these 3 Sundering the Heavens diagrams are combined, you can obtain the map to Anyang's realm. At the same time, 1 Sundering the Heavens diagrams can allow 6 people to enter Anyang's realm. Enter Anyang's realm. Bring 6 people. Reverend Ming Liang and the others' hearts began to involuntarily let their imaginations run wild. Obviously, they all believed that they were also one of those 6 people. And I am preparing to bring the 5 of you in. Don't you think this is a joyous occasion? Hua Yen said softly. Reverend Ming Liang and the other 4's eyes immediately brightened. Hua Yen simply did not allow the 5 of them to express their gratitude and continued to say, I have also said that once we enter Anyang's realm, there will be endless treasures inside. Whatever you obtain will belong to you, and I will not forcefully take it away. However, there is one point. After entering Anyang's realm, I will let you take the treasures. If there is anyone who does not listen to my instructions and dies, do not blame me. Hua Yan's goal this time was only that 1 treasure. Top-grade immortal equipment, immortal pills, and powerful treasures of heaven and earth. These, to people of Emperor Yu's level, did not have much attraction. What I said just now, whether or not you can do it, if you cannot, there are many people who want to enter Anyang's realm, Hua Yen said coldly. Reverend Ming Liang, Reverend Qi Yang and the other 4 immediately stood up. Reverend Ming Liang took the lead and said respectfully, Senior, do not worry. We will definitely do it. These 5 people all understood that in a place like Anyang's realm, treasures were not that easy to obtain. Following the immortal realm emissary would naturally avoid dangers. If they acted on their own accord, they would most likely lose their lives. Very good. You all should rest first. After 2 days we will depart. Hua Yen announced. 2 days. The 5 people below were shocked. They did not expect that it would come so quickly. However, immediately, the 5 people's faces were filled with joy as they respectfully said, Yes. Times. Hey, Senior, Reverend Ming Liang and the others seem to be very happy today. The 5 great reverends have been drinking and celebrating together for half a day. A thin and weak cultivator hugging a wine jar said to another tall cultivator hugging a wine jar beside him. Lower your voice. The reverends are very powerful. If they hear us and anger them, our lives will be over. That senior hurriedly reminded. The thin and weak junior immediately woke up and nodded repeatedly. Senior is right. They were only ordinary cultivators who had been summoned by a group of loose immortals from various sects to serve the loose immortal seniors. To these Jin Dan and Yuanying stage cultivators, that group of loose immortals were all high and mighty. Not to mention the 5 great reverends, the strongest of the loose immortals. Reverend Ming Liang, Reverend Qi Yang, Reverend Lan Bing, Reverend Ming Shan, and Shui Yu Yang. If the 5 great reverends were slightly dissatisfied, those ordinary cultivators could have their cultivation crippled and be expelled from their sections. Everyone, this trip to Ni Yang's realm is a major event. Although it is said to be dangerous, wanting to obtain the treasures is also dangerous. How can there be such a good thing in this world? For it to be our turn to enter Ni Yang's realm, it is also the result of Ni Yang's realm being in the mortal realm. Reverend Ming Liang spoke frankly with assurance. However, now that time is very short, everyone should return and properly prepare. We must enter Ni Yang's realm in our best condition. We must not be so relaxed and slack off. Reverend Ming Shan nodded and said, Senior is right. However, everyone is too excited today, which is why we should properly celebrate. Haha, today we will relax and slack off, it is not a big deal. Reverend Ming Liang, fellow Ming Shan is right. Come, come, everyone raise your cups. Reverend Qi Yang also said cheerfully. The 5 great reverends raised their cups and drank together. After drinking, the young cultivators serving the 5 great reverends hurriedly poured wine for each of them. Shui Yu Yang suddenly snorted coldly. As it turned out, the young cultivator who was pouring wine for him was too nervous, and spilled the wine on Shui Yu Yang's long gown. Which sect are you from? Shui Yu Yang asked indifferently. Junior is from Lian Yang's sect. That young cultivator's face was deathly pale, extremely frightened. You can't even handle such a small matter properly, and were unexpectedly sent to serve me. It seems that the temperament of the elite disciples of Lian Yang's sect is too low. You should go back and face the wall for 1,000 years to properly temper your temperament. Oh. Shui Yu Yang indifferently announced the punishment. When that young cultivator heard about facing the wall for 1,000 years, his heart couldn't help but tremble. Facing the wall for 1,000 years, he would be facing the mountain wall alone. Moreover, it would be lonely and no one would come. He would have to persist like this for 100 years. For a young cultivator whose cultivation time was relatively short, this was indeed an extremely terrifying punishment. All right, Brother Shui Yu Yang, don't let a young disciple dampen your spirits. Reverend Ming Liang said with a faint smile. In the eyes of this group of experts who stood at the peak of the mortal realm, those ordinary cultivator disciples could naturally be rewarded or punished according to their likes and dislikes. Perhaps only experts like Sword Immortal Lan Feng could cause them to fear. When a young cultivator was punished, the other young cultivators naturally felt worried in their hearts. Every one of them was very careful, fearing that even the slightest mistake would occur. While trembling with fear, this group of young cultivators did not make any big mistakes. However, this feeling of walking on a tightrope caused every young cultivator to feel fear in their hearts. On the contrary, at this moment, the 5 reverends who were being served by them were very happy, exchanging toasts with each other. However, at this moment, Hua Yan, you seem to be very satisfied, but I don't know why, but I always find you displeasing to the eye. Are you worthy of being a sword immortal? An indifferent and elegant voice resounded throughout the entire Qing Su mountain. In an instant, it was as if the body had been fixed. In the entire Qing Su mountain, all the Xiaoxianists, all the loose immortals, the 5 reverends, and even Hua Yan were all shocked. A sharp blood-red light, like the splendor of the blood moon, it descended from the 9 heavens. Poof! With a light crisp sound, Reverend Ming Liang, who was still at the table, trembled. Soon after, his entire body strangely began to corrode. At the same time, with a pung sound, His entire body turned into a bloody mist. That top-grade immortal sword, Jian Xing, naturally fell. An afterimage flashed, and that top-grade immortal sword, Jian Xing, had already disappeared without a trace. At this moment, the 4 surviving reverends retreated with frightened expressions. Reverend Ming Liang was killed in an instant. With their cultivation level, naturally they would not be able to withstand a single blow. At this moment, the group of young cultivators hiding in the corner saw the 4 reverends' terrified expressions. They did not know why, but they felt a burst of joy in their hearts. That was Sword Immortal Lan Feng's voice. Reverend Ming Shan's eyes were filled with anger. His senior was the spiritual pillar of the Qingsu Mountain, the absolute #1 person. Now that his senior was killed, this was an unprecedented blow to the Qingsu Mountain. How could Reverend Ming Shan not be angry? With a flash, Sword Immortal Hua Yen appeared in front of everyone. Senior Hua Yen, that was Sword Immortal Lan Feng's voice. Moreover, he just said, "Are you worthy of being a Sword Immortal?" At this moment, Reverend Ming Shan only wanted Sword Immortal Hua Yen to avenge him. "Shut up," Sword Immortal Hua Yen said indifferently. As if his throat was choked, Reverend Ming Shan, who was speaking halfway, stopped. Chapter 281. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's celestial sense is simply unable to detect the slightest trace of the enemy's qi. There are only 2 possibilities. One is that the enemy's power is higher than his. The second was that the enemy had already left the search range of his immortal sense. With Hua Yan's current strength, the range of his search is still very wide. Merely teleporting once would be very difficult to escape the range of Sword Immortal Hua Yan's immortal sense. Therefore, it was definitely not teleportation. It should be greater teleportation that only a golden immortal expert could perform. If one were to talk about strength that was higher than him, then it would be Man Gong and the mysterious Lan Feng. What a fast speed! Did he use greater teleportation? Sword Immortal Hua Yen mutters in a low voice. His ice-cold gaze sweeps around the surroundings, especially the blood mist that Reverend Ming Liang has transformed into. He stares at it for a long while. Pretending to be Sword Immortal Lan Feng's voice, could it be that he doesn't know that a Sword Immortal's sword qi is very difficult to fake? This method of killing is clearly a method of the Blood Devil Demon Dao. Similarly, it is very difficult to disguise the methods of the Blood Devil Demon Dao. Even if I don't believe that you, Du Zhongjun, did it, I have no choice but to believe it. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's heart is filled with anger. Could it be that you still think that Wu Kongshui was killed by me, so you came to kill my subordinate, Reverend Ming Liang, as revenge? Sword Immortal Hua Yan's mind continuously resounds with an angry voice. Looks like this matter must be resolved. Otherwise, once we enter an Yang's realm, it would be terrible if you were to drag me down. Sword Immortal Hua Yan had already made a decision in his heart. Regardless of whether it was a misunderstanding or something else, he had to resolve this matter before entering Yang's realm. Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Qi Yang, Reverend Lan Bing, and Shui Yang all looked at Hua Yan, waiting for his orders. The 4 of you listen up. Stay in Heavenly Palace. I will now make a trip to the Inue mountain range. Sword Immortal Hua Yan coldly says. The 4 adepts replied respectfully. Sword Immortal Hua Yan's body flickers and then completely disappears from Mount Qingshu. Times, what a pity. What a pity. When the Sword Immortal puppet killed Wu Kongshui using Sword Immortal techniques, it only pierced a very small hole in his yuanying. His yuanying was not damaged at all. Later on it can still be refined. But this time he used the top-quality magic tool, Blood Moon, to attack. The Blood Devil's demonic energy forced out of the Blood Moon even corroded Reverend Ming Liang's yuanying. What a waste. Inside the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, Qin Yu deliberately sighed. Ho Fei, Kuro, and the 3 Shi brothers all looked at Qin Yu strangely. Big brother, you killed others and took their supreme-grade immortal artifact, but you didn't get it. Yuan Ying sighed. You are really... Ho Fei was speechless. Big brother is overjoyed, Kuro said with a smile. Qin Yu's pretense of sighing immediately disappeared, and he laughed out loud. It's still Xiao Hei who understands me. Now that I've killed Reverend Ming Liang, the two instigators of the capital's murder case have been executed, and the worry in my heart has also been removed. Now, let's see if Sword Immortal Hua Yan and Blood Devil Du Zhongjun will make a move. Most likely they won't really make a move, Ho Fei said with a laugh. Kuro also nodded in agreement. Qin Yu took a deep breath, and then slowly exhaled. Who cares? Whether or not the two of them fight is only a side dish. We need to prepare a main dish now. What main dish? Ho Fei was puzzled. Kuro smiled at Ho Fei and said, Monkey, you don't even know about this. Of course, it's about entering Enai Yang's realm. Qin Yu nodded and said, Yes. Now, the Loose Immortals, Loose Devils, and the Dragon Clan all have the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. They won't waste any more time. Why did the Ascendant Realm emissaries descend? Isn't it to enter Enai Yang's realm? If there isn't anything obstructing them, they will quickly head to Enai Yang's realm. I think that although I purposely stirred things up this time, they will still head to Enai Yang's realm in the near future. Yes, that makes sense. Ho Fei nodded. Qin Yu suddenly looked at the three Shi brothers. Shurexen, after a period of time, you all will first return to Qianlong continent to be with my royal father. Fei and I will first go to Enai Yang's realm. After we come out we will go find you all. Of course there is no need to rush now. Yes, the three Shi brothers responded. Times inside the Blood Devil Hall. His back as straight as a long sword, Hua Yan just stood in the middle of the Blood Devil Hall's great hall. Du Zhongjun, I have an important matter to discuss with you. Hua Yan's voice was still so calm. His voice reverberated within the Blood Devil Hall, and at this moment, there was no one else in the Blood Devil Hall's great hall other than Hua Yan. Within a secret room of the Blood Devil Hall. Hua Yan. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun was puzzled. What is he doing here? I haven't even bothered him about Wu Kong Shue's death, and now he has come to find trouble with me. However, no matter what, entering Enai Yang's realm is the most important matter. I still need to meet him. Du Zhongjun's figure within the secret room disappeared into thin air. So it is Hua Yan. A human figure appeared in the great hall out of thin air. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun was wearing a blood-red robe. He was all smiles as he looked at Hua Yan. At the same time he waved his hand, and a barrier appeared outside the great hall, preventing outsiders from hearing what was happening inside. Hua Yan looked at Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. Du Zhongjun, my subordinate, Reverend Ming Liang, was just killed by someone. Ming Liang is dead. The smile on Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's face immediately disappeared. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's first reaction was this Hua Yan is here to find trouble. His second reaction was I did not kill Ming Liang, who killed Ming Liang. This is a conspiracy. In just a moment, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun felt that this was a conspiracy. Yes, Ming Liang is dead. Moreover, the person's voice was exactly the same as Lan Feng's. Hua Yan said. However, Lan Feng is a sword immortal. That person's method of killing was unique to the Blood Devil path. Reverend Ming Liang was hit, and his entire body was corroded and finally turned into a bloody mist. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's expression stiffened, and then he suddenly laughed. Hua Yan, you are not suspecting me, right? Hua Yan nodded and said, I am suspecting you. Because the Blood Devil path's unique method of killing, it must rely on the special energy of the Blood Devil path to create such an effect. Tell me, if it was not you, then who could it be? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun frowned. But in just a moment, a trace of ruthlessness appeared in Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's eyes. No. Hua Yan, you should know that when Wu Kong Shui was killed by the mysterious person, the top-grade devil weapon Blood Moon, that I had bestowed upon him was also taken away by that person. Blood Moon. Hua Yan had also heard of this devil weapon's famous name. That's right, the Blood Moon. This is a demonic artifact suitable for experts who cultivate the Blood Devil path. After countless generations of Blood Devil path experts, the Blood Moon naturally contains an astonishing amount of Blood Devil path energy. I think it must be that mysterious person who forced out the Blood Moon's energy and killed Reverend Ming Liang. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun could still be considered calm. Hua Yan slightly nodded. I have to say that what you said is very reasonable. But how can you make me believe what you said? Hua Yan looked at Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun laughed out loud. Hua Yan, do you not understand this principle? Let me ask you, did you kill Wu Kongshui? No. Hua Yan denied. Then it's settled. You did not kill Wu Kongshui. Wu Kongshui is dead. Could it be that I killed him? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun laughed. It is impossible for me to kill him. You also did not kill him. There must be someone secretly, deliberately messing up the situation. Hua Yan glanced at Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, and finally nodded. Although their conjectures were reasonable. But Blood Devil Du Zhongjun would definitely believe that he, Hua Yan, did not kill Wu Kongshui. Similarly, would Hua Yan absolutely believe that Du Zhongjun did not kill Reverend Ming Liang? It was just that the day of entering Ni Yang's realm was fast approaching. They could only believe each other. To believe what the other said, to believe that someone was deliberately messing up the situation. Good, I will believe you on this matter. Hua Yan nodded and immediately turned around to take 2 steps. Suddenly, Hua Yan looked towards a direction for a while, and finally shook his head doubtfully. His entire person turned into nothingness and disappeared. If it were not for Ni Yang's realm, I would have killed you long ago if you came to my door to question me like this. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun was secretly angry. Times. This Hua Yan's soul cultivation is slightly higher than Du Zhongjun's. He can actually vaguely sense my demon awareness. A loud laughter rang out in a manner. There were only 3 people in this manner. Man Gong, Yu Liang and Kong Chao. Yu Liang was the controller of the wilderness, and Kong Chao was the leader of the 3 great demons under Yu Liang's command. These 3 people were the candidates of the wilderness demon clan to enter Ni Yang's realm. My lord, it is too tiring for you to constantly use your demon awareness to observe the Inue mountain range. It is better to let this subordinate do the monitoring. Yu Liang said respectfully. That day, on the surface, Man Gong's group left Snowfish Mountain for the wilderness. However, in reality, not long after they left, Man Gong led Yu Liang and Kong Chao back quietly and arrived at the Tenglong continent. Man Gong himself had been secretly using his demon awareness to observe the Inue mountain range. Using Man Gong's words, believing in a devil, am I a fool? I will just watch him like this. As long as he leaves the Inue mountain range, there is an 80 to 90% chance that he will gather with the other 2 parties and head to Ni Yang's realm together. As long as I keep watch, he can forget about shaking me off. Needless to say, although Man Gong's method was stupid, it was actually very effective. Of course, Man Gong's cultivation was profound, and had even reached the peak of a first-level demon king. His demon awareness covered the Inue mountain range, but that Blood Devil Du Zhongjun did not detect it in the slightest. Meanwhile, Sword Immortal Hua Yan's soul cultivation was slightly stronger. At the beginning, when he was discussing with Du Zhongjun, he did not detect it. However, when he left, he did detect it. However, he only vaguely detected it, and was not too certain. Yu Liang, once you use your demon awareness, I estimate that Blood Devil Du Zhongjun will immediately discover it. Man Gong said with a smile. My lord, I will not go and monitor Du Zhongjun. I will only watch over Lady Lian Yu and the others. I believe that the loose devils will definitely send out a few people. Lady Lian Yu and the others will naturally head towards Ni Yang's realm. Watching over them is equivalent to watching over Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, Yu Liang said respectfully. Man Gong smiled and nodded. That makes sense. But, Yu Liang, don't forget, Although you are only monitoring Lady Lian Yu and the others, with Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's cultivation, how could he not discover you? Alright, I know you are loyal, but this matter should still be left to me. Although it is somewhat tiring to constantly use my demon awareness, I can still hold on. After Man Gone finished speaking, he quietly closed his eyes and rested, while his demon awareness was still constantly observing the Inue mountain range. Yu Liang and Kong Chao looked at each other, and could only helplessly watch from the side. Time passed extremely quickly, and the day to gather at Eager Dragon Island arrived very quickly. On this morning, the rays of the morning sun were warm, and the entire Inue mountain range was emitting a fresh and earthy smell. The top experts of the Inue mountain range, Lady Lian Yu, Wu Hei, and Fire Devil all had excited expressions on their faces at all times. That was because they had long known that today was the day to head towards Eager Dragon Island. Heading towards Eager Dragon Island represented heading towards Anyang's realm, and heading towards Anyang's realm represented that there were countless treasures waiting for them. When they thought of Blood Devil Du Zhongjun once described to them about the number of treasures within Anyang's realm, and the shocking amount of wealth, the three loose devil experts could not help but become excited in their hearts. At the entrance of the Blood Devil Hall. Today's weather is really not bad. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun stood at the entrance of the hall, facing the morning sun as he smiled and stretched. It was obvious that he was in a very good mood. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun flipped his hand and took out a transmission talisman. Brother Du, don't forget that we are gathering at Eager Dragon Island today to gather the three Sundering the Heavens diagrams to obtain the map of Anyang's realm. However, the matter of heading towards Anyang's realm together. Rest assured, how would I forget about this matter? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun used his devil awareness to scan and replied to the message, yet his mouth muttered to himself, "This Ao Feng is really long-winded enough." Meanwhile, at that moment, Fire Devil, Wu Hei, and Lady Lian Yu had long gathered together. They had prepared everything, and were now only waiting for Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's orders. Fire Devil, Wu Hei, Lian Yu, you all should be ready. Gather at the Blood Devil Hall. A familiar and long-awaited voice sounded in the minds of Lady Lian Yu and the other two. Lady Lian Yu and the other two immediately used their fastest speed to directly arrive at the Blood Devil Hall. Within a manor in the Tenglong continent. They have actually gathered. Don't tell me they are about to set off. Man Gone, who had his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes, and an ominous glint flickered. Du Zhongjun, it seems that you are really as I have predicted. You are prepared to ignore me and directly leave secretly. Man Gone's demon awareness was currently observing Lady Lian Yu, Wu Hei, Fire Devil, as well as Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's every move. They were currently only gathering, and Man Gone had yet to explode. If Blood Devil Du Zhongjun really brought people and left, no one really dared to imagine what kind of things the crazy Man Gone would do. Very good. Lian Yu, you have already arranged the matters regarding Inue mountain range, right? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun said with a smile. Everything has been arranged. Lord Blood Devil, please be at ease. Lady Lian Yu's face was full of smiles. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun nodded, glanced at the three people and then said, "Good. From now on, the three of you must obey my orders. You are not allowed to act on your own." "Yes, Lord Blood Devil," the three people said respectfully. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun waved his hand in satisfaction and said, "Now we will first go to Eager Dragon Island and gather with the other two groups of people. Set off." Yes. Tomato has something to do and needs to leave Suzhou. Sorry, he can only update one chapter today. Tomorrow night, Tomato will take the train back to Suzhou. Tomorrow the 2 chapters will definitely be completed. Right now, it is still unknown when he will return tomorrow night. However, even if Tomato stays up late tomorrow, he will still update 2 chapters. I hope everyone can understand. From the beginning of the next chapter, it will be a new plot, the plot of entering Anyang's realm. Chapter 283. Under the Morning Sun. The Inue mountain range was shrouded in mist. The Blood Demon Hall at the core of the Inue mountain range was the most eye-catching. Similarly, at this moment, with Blood Devil Du Zhongjun as the leader, Dame Lian Yu, Wu Hei, Fire Devil and the others were in the air above the Blood Devil Hall. Following Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's order, Dame Lian Yu and the other two immediately set off. However, Du Zhongjun, you're really trustworthy. An indifferent voice resounded in the sky above the Inue mountain range. However, almost all the self-cultivators could feel the anger and fury contained in that voice. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's expression changed, and he exclaimed in a low voice, "It's Man Gone." Man Qian, who was like a devil god, appeared in the sky above the Inue mountain range. That surging demonic energy was so dense that it made all the loose devils feel fear in their hearts. That pair of pupils of Mangons that were emitting a purple ominous glint even more made all of the loose devils tremble with fear. Blood Demon Du Zhongjun's face was somewhat pale. As for the three loose devil experts behind Blood Devil Du Zhongjun, they don't even dare to breathe loudly. Each and every one of them is trembling with fear. However, in front of the most valiant of the four great emissaries, Man Qian, he was still like a mouse meeting a cat. Wait for my order. All of you will teleport to Eager Dragon Island. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun transmitted his voice using his devil sense. Yes, Lord Blood Devil. Dame Lian Yu and the others replied through sound transmission. Brother Man Qian, I was just about to inform you. Who would have thought that you would appear? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun immediately said with a smile. Oh, is that really the case? But from what I've heard and seen, that doesn't seem to be the case. I will give you a chance. If you have a clear conscience, you can swear an oath to heaven and earth. Mangon looked at Blood Devil Du Zhongjun with cold eyes. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun was slightly startled. This. He could lie, but he couldn't just randomly swear an oath. As a cultivator, how could Blood Demon Du Zhongjun not know how terrifying the consequences of breaking an oath were? Although it was only for a short moment of astonishment, Man Qian nevertheless already knew Du Zhongjun's thoughts. Meanwhile, Man Gone had instead spoken, and his cold laughter reverberated between the heaven and earth. Ha, what a good Du Zhongjun. Your guts are really not small. I really did not think that you, a tiny little blood devil demonic practitioner, would also dare to deceive and toy with me in such a manner. Since you want to die, then don't blame me for being merciless. Even if I take your heaven-sundering diagram, I can still. Man Qian had only spoken half of his words when a gigantic blade chi that was several tens of meters long appeared in the sky out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Man Qian himself was holding onto a broad-backed machete. Puff. Like paste, the entire space wriggled for a while before it completely broke apart. A huge black hole that was 100 meters long and wide appeared in the sky above the Inue mountain range. A terrifying attractive force crazily devoured the surrounding forests, rocks, and loose devils. Ah! Miserable shrieks rose and fell. One after another, loose devils were swallowed into the chaotic black hole. At the same time, pieces of rocks and buildings were also swallowed. That black hole seemed to be able to swallow anything. There was no way to resist. In front of the space cracks, the loose devil's resistance is futile. This caused panic. It caused countless loose devils in the Inue mountain range to panic. When experts like Mangon fought, they, as loose devils, would simply be caught in the crossfire. Instantly, countless loose devils fled in all directions at high speeds. There were even an extremely small number of panicked loose devils that actually carried out teleportation within such a chaotic space. Under such circumstances, teleportation was undoubtedly suicide. Those extremely small number of loose devils were already scared to the point that their minds were no longer clear. So despicable. Blood Devil Du Zhongjun cursed angrily. Earlier, Mangon had deliberately attacked halfway through his words, which had instead caught Blood Devil Du Zhongjun unprepared. All of you first evade. When you reach a place where space is stable, immediately use teleportation and rush to Eager Dragon Island. All of you do not need to worry about my safety. On the surface, Du Zhongjun's fury soared to the heavens, but his heart was instead calm. He very calmly transmitted to the 3 great loose devil experts under him. Yes, Lord Blood Devil. Dame Lian Yu and the other 2 understood the situation. Once the 3 of them escaped, Du Zhongjun would no longer be implicated by them, and would still have the certainty to escape with his life. Man Qian's move just now had split open space, and the terrifying spatial crack had swallowed several hundred loose devils as well as several thousand devil cultivators in merely an instant. It had caused panic, causing countless loose devils to run in all directions in fright. Meanwhile, Dame Lian Yu, Wu Hei, and Fire Devil had also mixed in with the countless loose devils that were fleeing for their lives, fleeing in all directions without any purpose. Man gone, isn't this a little too much? Blood Devil Du Zhongjun coldly shouted. Too much? Haha, if this is called too much, then I will let you know what is too much. The purple light in Man Gone's pupils became brighter and brighter. A terrifying whirlwind was currently spinning at an extreme speed with Man Gone's right fist as the center, and was continuously shrinking. When he saw that scene, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's expression changed greatly. Burning blood escape. The blood within Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's body completely boiled, and blood seeped out from every part of his body. However, Blood Devil Du Zhongjun's entire person transformed into a streak of bloody light, and quickly flew towards the east. Bastard! When he saw that scene, Man Gone knew one thing. No matter what, it was absolutely impossible for him to catch up to Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. Burning blood escape was not instant movement, nor was it greater teleportation, but a type of flying technique. It was just that the burning blood escape speed was 10 times faster than normal. Under normal circumstances, Man Gone's speed was faster than Blood Devil Du Zhongjun. However, with Blood Devil Du Zhongjun using the burning blood escape, it was simply impossible for Man Gone to catch up. My lord! Yu Liang and Kong Chao both appeared behind Du Zhongjun. My lord, that Du Zhongjun! When Du Zhongjun was mentioned, Man Gone became even more furious. That was because Man Gone was very clear on what Du Zhongjun was thinking. It was impossible for Du Zhongjun to care about the life and death of the loose devils in the mortal realm. Meanwhile, there was currently no quota to enter Ni Yang's realm. How would he, Man Gone, complete the mission? How would he seize the treasures within Ni Yang's realm? The more he thought, the angrier he became. He was the most respected super-divine beast in the demon realm. Even if his martial power was not high, the clan still treasured them incomparably. In terms of status, super-divine beasts far surpassed Du Zhongjun, who was a first-level demon king. Du Zhongjun actually dared to deceive him. Man Gone's expression became extremely ugly. At the same time, his right fist, which was continuously accumulating power, was still continuously accumulating power. The furious and crazy Man Gone seemed to have forgotten to punch out. Yeah, Du Zhongjun, don't let me meet you again. Man Gone raised his head and roared angrily, abruptly smashing his right fist downwards towards the Inu mountain range. That energy that had been accumulated to the extreme instantly completely exploded. With Man Gone's fist as the center, it formed into ripples and spread out in all directions. The entire space seemed to fluctuate like the ripples. There was not a single sound. Under Man Gone's extremely furious fist, wherever the spatial ripples passed, rocks were completely turned into fine powder. In just a split second, a huge crater with a radius of 100 miles appeared in the central region of the Inu mountain range. An unprecedentedly large crater appeared in the center of the Inu mountain range. The Inu palace that had just been successfully established was once again destroyed. My lord, what should we do now? Yu Liang and Kong Chao stood behind Man Gone. Man Gone pondered for a moment, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Very good, they have entered Ni Yang's realm. However, the treasures within Ni Yang's realm basically cannot increase their martial power by much. Even if they come out, they will not be my match. The moment Du Zhongjun comes out, I will let him die. Although that was what his mouth said, Man Gon's heart was still ruthless. That was because he knew that when others came out, the first thing they would do was to immediately return to the upper realm. Most likely they would not even give him the slightest chance. However, he, Man Gon, did not even have the chance to enter Anai Yang's realm, much less snatch away the treasures within Anai Yang's realm. What could he do? If I had known earlier, I would have bought those 3 pieces of top-grade elemental spirit stones from Ao Feng back then, and obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagrams through auction. Man Gon's heart was filled with extreme regret. However, on the surface, Man Gon would not have any signs of admitting defeat. After all, he was the most arrogant super-divine beast. Even if he suffered a loss, he would also grit his teeth and swallow it into his stomach. Times, Eager Dragon Island. The side of the loose immortals and the side of the dragon clan had long arrived. Meanwhile, Lady Lian Yu Wu Hei and Fire Devil had also arrived. Senior Hua Yen, Senior Ao Feng, Senior Feng Tian. Earlier, that Man Gon had killed his way to the Inu mountain range, and Lord Blood Devil had acted to restrain Man Gon. That was why the 3 of us could come here earlier. I believe that Lord Blood Devil will arrive here very soon. Lady Lian Yu said respectfully. Hua Yen, Ao Feng, and Feng Tian looked at each other, and then a trace of a smile appeared on their faces. Of the 3 great experts present, not a single one was willing to become enemies with Man Gon. That was because the other party was a super-divine beast. For example, Feng Tian was also a super-divine beast. Although he only had the cultivation of a 12th tribulation loose demon, which was equivalent to a 9th-level heavenly immortal. However, his strength was definitely not inferior to Hua Yan's. Of course, the prerequisite was that the 2 people's weapons and battle armors were the same. Meanwhile, Man Gon was also a super-divine beast. Moreover, he was a super-divine beast that contained the strongest martial power. At the same time, he was also a 1st-level Demon King super-divine beast. Suddenly, a blood-red figure suddenly appeared on Eager Dragon Island. The experts present could not help but raise their heads to look. That blood-red figure was precisely Du Zhongjun, who was bathed in blood. Brother Du, what happened to you? Hua Yen had a shocked expression. The current Du Zhongjun's complexion was as pale as snow. His entire body was dyed with fresh blood, and the surface of his skin had traces of burns. That was the aftereffect of using the igniting blood escape technique. It's nothing. I was only forced to use the igniting blood escape technique by that Man Gon. Even if I have spiritual pills, I estimate that I will still need 3 days to recover. I ask that everyone wait for another 3 days. Du Zhongjun said to everyone. Hua Yen, Ao Feng, and Feng Tian all nodded. Brother Du, please rest at ease and recuperate. Isn't it just 3 days? To us, even 3 years is merely the blink of an eye. Ao Feng said with a smile. The other 2 also nodded. Du Zhongjun cupped his hands and said, Then I thank everyone. After saying that, Du Zhongjun found a place and immediately began to meditate and recuperate. 3 days later, within a certain small courtyard on Eager Dragon Island, the 3 factions had gathered 3 Sundering the Heavens diagrams and obtained the map to Anai Yang's realm. It's actually here. Anai Yang's realm is actually here. The 4 people present, Hua Yen, Du Zhongjun, Ao Feng, and Feng Tian were all dumbstruck. Although they had thought of that possibility, they had always hoped that it was not. However, the final result told them that Anai Yang's realm was actually at that place. Immortal Emperor Anai Yang is truly formidable. Perhaps the peculiar environment of this planet was also created by him. Since everyone now knows the location of Anai Yang's realm, presumably, everyone should also know the difficulties of this trip. Everyone should first rest for a while, and then immediately depart after half a day. Is that all right? Ao Feng smiled and nodded. Hua Yen and Du Zhongjun both nodded thoughtfully. It was obvious that the map to Enai Yang's realm, obtained from the gathering of the three sundering the heavens diagrams, had caused all the experts present to be incomparably shocked. The four people separated within the small courtyard. Feng Tian flipped his hand and a transmission talisman appeared. Zhongju, it's me. Feng Tian and Zhongju had a very good relationship. After all, both of them were super divine beasts. Moreover, they were also invincible existences in the mortal realm. In terms of friendship, Feng Tian was even closer to Zhongju than he was to the dragon emissary, Ao Feng. After all, Feng Tian and Zhongju either fought or joked with each other. Their relationship was very good, and there was a feeling of mutual appreciation. Feng Tian, what's the matter? Zhongju also began to chat with Feng Tian. Zhongju, let me tell you something. My dragon clan, the Loose Devils, and the Loose Immortals have already gathered and found the map to Enai Yang's realm. We are about to depart. Zhongju, this time I will be one step ahead of you. Feng Tian told this news to Zhongju. Heading to Enai Yang's realm. Once he received this news, Zhongju's entire body went blank, and he only regained his senses after a while. How is it so fast? Zhongju asked anxiously. Haha, you don't need to ask about this matter. Moreover, my dragon clan's quota is still not enough, so there is no way to bring you in. However, Zhongju, don't worry. I am very clear about your strength. You only lack a good weapon. This time, when I enter Enai Yang's realm, it is still very easy to bring you a set of powerful weapons and armor. Aren't I a good brother? Feng Tian joked. Zhongju hastily concluded. I am a good brother. Feng Tian, I have something important to do. Let's contact each other later. Immediately, Zhongju immediately sent a transmission to Qin Yu. Within the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, the three brothers Qin Yu, Hou Fei, and Kuro were free and unfettered. Zhongju. Qin Yu was puzzled. He scanned the contents of the transmission talisman with his spiritual sense, and his expression immediately changed. Qin Yu's eyes lit up, and he immediately replied with a transmission. Senior Zhong, quickly head to Snowfish Island to gather. When that time comes, we will also head to Enai Yang's realm together. Qin Yu was instead carefully pondering the meaning of that message in his heart. The Loose Immortals side, the Loose Devils side, the Dragon Clan are merely three sides. Then what about Man Gone? I remember that Man Gone had initially said that he wanted to occupy the quota of the Loose Devils side, but Zhongju's message just now did not mention Man Gone. And Qin Yu's eyes lit up, and he immediately sent a transmission to Man Gone. Brother Man Gone, I am Qin Yu. Currently, the Loose Immortals side, the Loose Devils side, and the Dragon Clan have already joined forces and are preparing to head to Enai Yang's realm. Do you know? Qin Yu paused, and when he saw Man Gone's reply, Qin Yu smiled. As expected, Man Gone's situation was as he had expected. Brother Man Gone, do not be agitated. I now want to tell you a big secret. This secret is that, other than passing through the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, there is another way to enter Enai Yang's realm. Unfortunately, I know this method. Chapter 284. 3 whole days. Ting-Long continent suffered an unprecedented blow. The side of Loose Immortals and the side of Loose Devils once fought a great battle for the heaven-sundering diagram, but the losses of that battle were not even comparable to the losses of these 3 days. In these 3 days, an invincible demon-like expert killed countless rogue cultivators with cruel and crazy methods. Among the experts he killed, the weakest one was a 6th tribulation loose cultivator. In just 3 days, 80% of the loose practitioners above the 6th tribulation level on the entire Ting-Long continent were killed or injured. That was Man Gone's way of venting his anger. I will definitely be ridiculed by those bastards when I return this time, for not even being able to enter the main door of Enai Yang's realm. Man Gone's heart was filled with extreme hatred. He wished he could grind Du Zhongjun's bones to dust. As for killing 80% of the loose cultivators above the 6th tribulation, In the demon realm, even the destruction of a planet is not a big deal. Of course, the premise is that you have to deal with the revenge of some experts from your home planet. Qi knew. Man Qian's heart moved, and a piece of transmission talisman appeared in his hand. When he saw the second message sent by Qinyu, Man Qian felt as if he was dreaming. Brother Qinyu, you cannot brag about this matter. Entering Ni Yang's realm is an extremely big matter. Man Qian still found it a little hard to believe. He had just used his demon awareness to transmit that piece of information, when Man Qian transmitted another message. You really do have a method to enter Ni Yang's realm? Brother Man Gone, please be at ease. My junior martial uncle has obtained the Sundering the Heavens diagrams, so why would he auction them off? If he didn't have other methods to enter Ni Yang's realm, would junior martial uncle have been willing to auction off the Heaven Sundering diagram? Qin Yu's message made Man Qian believe a little. At that time, Man Gone was very suspicious. Did that sword immortal Lan Feng's brain have a problem? Such a precious Sundering the Heavens diagrams were actually auctioned off. Now that he heard what Qin Yu said, he understood a lot. So, he had already found a way to enter Ni Yang's realm. The Heaven Sundering diagram was of no use to him. What? Does Brother Man Qian not believe what I have said? Qin Yu's spiritual awareness transmission contained a trace of embarrassment. Brother Qin Yu, since you have said so, of course I believe you. Man Gone immediately transmitted a message. That Man Gone also understood the logic behind it. No matter what, he would first believe in it before deciding on anything else. In any case, he, Man Gone, currently had no way of entering Ni Yang's realm. At the very least, he believed that Qin Yu would still have a solution. If he did not believe, then he, Man Gone, could only watch helplessly as the other three great emissaries entered Ni Yang's realm. Brother Man Gone, please do not hesitate to rush to Snowfish Island. Zhongju from the chaotic astral ocean will also arrive very soon. That's because I have 9 quotas to enter Ni Yang's realm. I need 3 for myself, and the chaotic astral ocean needs 3. Brother Man Qian, you can also only have 3 quotas. Qin Yu entrusted. 3 spots. To the current Man Qian, a single quota was already an extremely big surprise. When Man Gone heard what Qin Yu said, his heart was greatly reassured. Since even the people of the chaotic astral ocean are participating, it seems that this matter is most likely true. Moreover, to Qin Yu, deliberately playing with Man Gone and Zhongju did not have any benefits. Snowfish Island. Good, my men will arrive very soon. Man Gone immediately sent a message to Qin Yu. Then I will bring my 2 brothers and wait for Brother Man Gone's arrival. Qin Yu immediately kept the communication talisman. Times on Snowfish Island. After Qin Yu had used the sword immortal puppet to kill Reverend Ming Liang, he had secretly returned to Snowfish Island. At that moment, Qin Yu and his 2 brothers were at the side of Snowfish Island's most famous Snowfish Lake, near the ancient teleportation array, bidding farewell to Shurexin and his 2 brothers. Shurexin, when you reach the hidden dragon continent, just take care of my royal father and the others. As for whatever you want to do, I believe that no one will interfere with you, and also have no ability to interfere with you, Qin Yu said with a smile. At that moment, Shurexin and his 2 brothers were actually very happy. They could finally roam freely for a while. Although they also had some desires towards Ni Yang's realm. However, Shurexin and his brothers still understood in their hearts that if they did not have Qin Yu's help, just by themselves, no matter how many people entered, they would all die. Hey Shibing, little brat, don't overdo it. If I suddenly ascend you as my spirit beast, and having reached the Deshang stage long ago, will also ascend. So you have to be careful, Ho Fei warned. Yes, master, Shibing said respectfully. Qin Yu and his 2 brothers just happened to correspond to Shurexin's 3 spirit beasts. Qin Yu's spirit beast was the eldest of the 3 spirit beasts, Shurexin. Ho Fei's spirit beast was the second of the 3 spirit beasts, Shibing. As for Kuroa's spirit beast, It was the third brother of the three spirit beasts, Shizhan. Fei, don't be too worried. Although you and Xiao Hei's internal energy conversion speed is much faster than ordinary people, you still need at least a few years to reach the Dashang stage. Although a few years' time is very short, exploring in I Yang's realm once should not take too long. I reckon that when you come out, you will not have ascended yet, Qin Yu said helplessly. Hou Fei and Kuro's cultivation speed was very fast, and the internal energy conversion speed was also very fast. When the internal energy completely converted into the demon elemental energy that belonged to the demon realm, that would be the time for Hou Fei and Kuro to ascend. Yes, it is a few years. Hou Fei nodded and said, but a few years is really very short. It can be easily passed with just one closed-door cultivation. At Hou Fei's level of cultivation, even if he closed door cultivation for 100 years, it would be very normal. Therefore, a few years had always been very short in their eyes. Kuro also nodded and said, I reckon that it will not be long since we entered an I Yang's realm, so Monkey should not be too anxious to entrust Shizhan and the rest. Alright, Shirexin and the other two, don't listen to our nonsense here. Quickly go through the ancient teleportation array and go to the hidden dragon continent, Qin Yu said with a smile. Yes, master. Shirexin bowed and replied, then immediately brought the two brothers and stepped into the ancient teleportation array. Following the envelopment of rays of light, the ancient teleportation array's rays of light dissipated in just a moment, as if nothing had changed. It was just that the original Shirexin and the other two had already disappeared without a trace. Snowfish Island was snow-white. Under the sunlight, the entire Snowfish Island was like a snow-white world, quiet and tranquil. Under the sunlight, the snowflakes were sparkling and translucent. Ha ha, brother Qin Yu. The entire sky above Snowfish Island suddenly rang with a deep voice. That voice was so loud and clear that it was simply shocking to the extreme. Countless snowflakes on Snowfish Island trembled and rolled down. Qin Yu, Hou Fei and Kuro were like three black streams of light that shot out from the manor below. After that, they stood in mid-air and smiled as they looked at the three people opposite them. Haha, it is indeed Brother Man Qian. When I heard the voice just now, I was thinking in the current mortal realm, other than Brother Man Qian, who else has such a domineering and unique voice? Qin Yu said with a smile. To enter an I Yang's realm, their own side strength must at least be strong enough. Back then, Qin Yu had pulled Zhongju over to his side. Currently, Qin Yu had a great interest towards Man Qian, who had such great strength and seemed to be the #1 person among the 4 great emissaries. Brother Qin Yu, you should stop praising me. Until now, I have not even obtained a quota to enter an I Yang's realm, and now I have still run over to your side. That's right, where is Zhongju? Man Qian inquired. Man Qian had already used his demon awareness to search once just now. However, he discovered that this Snowfish Island did not have any experts from the chaotic astral ocean. Could it be that Qin Yu had lied to him? You're talking about Senior Zhongju. He is someone from the chaotic astral ocean. The chaotic astral ocean's waters are vast. Even if he was closer, he would still need a period of time to rush here, Qin Yu said with a smile. Suddenly, who said that there would still be a period of time? Zhongju's voice actually rang out. Qin Yu looked towards the direction of the voice in shock, only to see Zhongju bringing along 2 large men and walking over. Qin Yu recognized those 2 large men. They were the 2 island lords of Black Wind Island, one of the 3 great islands of the chaotic astral ocean, Stone Transformation and Stone Transformation Brothers. The Stone Transformation and Stone Transformation Brothers were divine beasts. Their original bodies were an extremely strange type of divine beast, petrified beast. Senior Zong. Qin Yu was greatly shocked. Qin Yu was very clear that the chaotic astral ocean was vast. Even if it was Devil Pang Island, there was still a distance of several billion kilometers from Snowfish Island, which was located outside the chaotic astral ocean. Wanting to cross such a long distance in a short period of time was simply impossible. Don't be so shocked. Firstly, I was not at Devil Peng Island just now, but at Black Wind Island. Secondly, my attainments in the aspect of speed are much higher than what you think, Zhongju said with a faint smile. Man Gon, who was at the side, also nodded and said, Qinyu, the speed of a golden-winged great roc is extremely impressive. No matter if it is teleportation, flight, or even intercourse with each other superdivine beasts would not be able to learn all kinds of ultimate techniques related to speed even if they wanted to. Alright, since everyone has already arrived, then everyone should go to the central manor to rest. After that, I will first tell everyone the map that leads to Enai Yang's realm. When Qinyu said those words, Man Gon and Zhongju both nodded in agreement. Half a day later, within the central manor's four-sided courtyard, the auction for the Sundering the Heavens diagrams had previously been held here. Meanwhile, Qinyu was currently announcing the map that led to Enai Yang's realm. Brother Man Gon, please take a seat. Senior Zong, please take a seat. Qinyu sat on one side of the round table, while Man Gon and Zhongju sat on the other two sides. The three of them just happened to form a circle. Brother Man Gon, Senior Zong, before I tell you the map of Enai Yang's realm, I will first talk about the secret regarding the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Both of you have not dripped your blood on the Sundering the Heavens diagrams before, so I believe that you are not familiar with it, Qinyu said with a smile. Man Gon and Zhongju both shook their heads and smiled bitterly, but both of them nodded. Both of them could be considered as prominent heroes, but indeed they had never truly fully controlled a single piece of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Qinyu nodded and said, With Brother Man Gon and Senior Zong's information regarding the chaotic astral ocean, you definitely know that one of these three pieces of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams belongs to me. That is why I am extremely clear about the secret of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams. Man Gon and Zhongju both nodded slightly. Wasn't that Sundering the Heavens diagrams of Qinyu precisely the fuse that caused the loose immortals and loose devils to be hostile towards each other? The Sundering the Heavens diagrams, when the three pieces are gathered together, a map that leads to Enai Yang's realm can be formed. Other than that, the Sundering the Heavens diagrams are also the qualifications to enter Enai Yang's realm. Every piece of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams contain the purest Sundering the Heavens sword energy. When that time comes, only the people within the area covered by the Sundering the Heavens sword energy will be able to enter. The Sundering the Heavens sword energy of a piece of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams can at most cover 6 people, Qinyu explained in detail. Man Gon and Zhongju nodded slightly as they listened. I currently have the map that leads to Enai Yang's realm. Similarly, I also possess the pure Sundering the Heavens sword energy that belonged to Immortal Emperor Enai Yang. A piece of the Sundering the Heavens diagrams can bring 6 people, while I can bring 9 people including myself, Qinyu said confidently. Listening to Qinyu's frank and assured speech, Man Gon and Zhongju could not help but begin to believe in Qinyu. I believe that Brother Man Gon and Senior Zong also understand the meaning behind my words. Qinyu smiled as he looked at the two people. Man Gon nodded and said, Brother Qinyu, didn't you say that entering Enai Yang's realm requires 2 conditions? The first is a map, and the second is the qualifications to enter. Qinyu nodded. That's right. What I am giving the two of you now is the first condition, a map. Qinyu waved his hand, and 2 jade slips appeared out of thin air and floated before Man Gon and Zhongju's eyes. Man Gon and Zhongju immediately extended their hands and took those jade slips. Almost at the same time, the two of them used their own demon awareness to scan the map within. It's actually here. Zhongju's eyes widened. Man Gon's face also looked as if he had seen a ghost. Brother Qinyu, is this map of yours wrong? Man Gon stared at Qinyu. Where could Enai Yang's realm possibly exist? Qinyu shook his head and smiled. Don't be surprised and don't be surprised and don't be in disbelief. This map is real, and it really can't be any more real. Enai Yang's realm is in the abyss of death, the legendary abyss of death. Qinyu clearly remembered the first time he had observed that map, and the shock and disbelief he had felt when he understood the general situation of the huge planet that he was on. The mortal planet that Qin Yu was on was an extremely huge planet. That planet was in the eastern hemisphere, with the hidden dragon continent, the normal ocean region to the north of the chaotic astral ocean, the normal ocean region to the south of the chaotic astral ocean, as well as the Tinglong continent. Meanwhile, on the other half of the planet, it was a hellish scene, and people called it polar regions. In terms of danger level, the chaotic astral ocean paled in comparison to this polar regions. The polar regions occupied half of the planet. Its area was equivalent to the chaotic astral ocean, hidden dragon continent, Tinglong continent, normal ocean region and so on added together. The polar regions were divided into two major areas: the land of polar regions Chill, and the land of polar regions Flame. Following the hidden dragon continent to the north, one would enter the land of polar regions Chill by several million miles north. Similarly, following the Tinglong continent to the south, one would enter the similarly dangerous land of polar regions Flame by several million miles south. The land of polar regions Chill and the land of polar regions Flame spanned several billion miles. As one went deeper, the land of polar regions Chill and the land of polar regions Flame would also become more dangerous. Even normal loose practitioners would not dare to enter easily. The level of danger had reached an unprecedented level. Meanwhile, the most dangerous place on the entire planet was not here, but the border between the land of polar regions Flame and the land of polar regions Chill. At the border between the land of polar regions Chill and the land of polar regions Flame was an abyss without any life. It was known as Abyss of Death. In the ancient legends of the mortal world, those who entered the Abyss of Death would definitely die. And the location of Ni Yang's realm, according to the map that Qin Yu had given, was within this Abyss of Death. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.